Give me a run for my money. There was nobody, no one that run me. So give me a run for my money. Sipping bubbly, feeling lovely. Living lovely. Just lovely. I wanna be with you. Hey, I wanna be with you. I wanna be with you. Hey, I wanna be with you. I wanna be with you. Me, just love me. If I didn't ride blade on her, would you still? If I'm in my mind at work, would you still? Keep it 100, I'd rather you trust me than to. Keep it a whole 100, don't got you, I got nothing. I got something. Hold up. We gon' function, no assumptions. Feeling like Tyson with it. Got out Tyson with it. Only for the night, I'm kidding. Only for life, yeah, only for life, yeah, only for life. Let's get it. Get that shoulder, man. I know what coming over me. Backstroke overseas. I know what you need. Already on 10, all money come in. I'm feeling go out. This feeling don't drought. This party won't end. If I didn't ride blade on her, would you still? If I'm in my mind at work, would you still? Keep it 100, I'd rather you trust me than to. Keep it a whole 100, don't got you, I got nothing. Run for my money.
What's up?
There's nobody, no one that run me. So give me a run for my money.
Yeah.
Feeling lovely, feeling lovely.
Hey, what's that, buddy?
Living lovely. Just lovely.
Hey,
I wanna be with you. 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 I wanna be with you.
Yeah.
I'm on the way. We ain't got no time to waste. Hop in your come on the way. Am I in the way? I don't want pressure you none. I want your blessing today. Oh, by the way, open the door by the way. Know you that I'm on the way. I'm on the way. I know connection is vague. Pick up the phone for me, babe. Damn it, we jamming. That had a two for your nanny. Curving your hip for your memory. Remember, Gardena, I took the studio camera. I know Top will be mad at me. I have to do it. I want your body and music. I'm about to be one to prove it. Look what you made. Told you that I'm on the way. I'm not gonna fix it away. Yeah. If I didn't ride blade on her, would you still? If I'm in my mind at work, would you still? Keep it 100, I'd rather you trust me than to. Keep it a whole 100, don't got you, I got nothing. Run for my money. There's nobody, no one that run me.
If I don't got you, I got
my money. Living lovely. Just I wanna be with you. 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 Just love me.
big old Indian shit, nigga. Standing on team. All right. ATL. You Miami. Yeah. We in the sky. How y'all feeling, man? Hopefully y'all day went good. I ain't gonna lie. Life been lifing for you, boy. Turned up on all 10, you know, but we head up chest that. You feel me? Ain't nothing that we can't handle. You did that type of shit. Born and bred, you know, for this type of shit. So double salute for everybody pulling up, coming to pop out. What we doing? I'm in the wrong spot. Yikes. Give me a run for my money. You say what? I'm sipping bubbly. I'm feeling lovely. Hold on, y'all. Cotton, no, I ain't tripping. Okay. No, I know I wasn't tripping. All right, y'all ready to rock out? We got 100 people in the building. Can we get 100 likes? We have 100 people in the building. Can we get 100 likes? Y'all ready for ATL? Man, I'm working. We got the courses about to start. We haven't did our meetings, man. Life been lifing for me, man. So, you know, I'm getting back in the game, man. Getting my head back in the game, you know. But, you know, as far as the things that need to be taken care of on that part, that's cool. You know, I just gotta worry about July. We gotta get July set up. Spody, I'm looking for you, fam. Pop out. You know, we need to holler type shit. But we gonna get on some feel good time, man. Cause we're a couple weeks from summer. It's already summer here. Tell the truth, we've been summer here for about 2-3 weeks now. Yeah, everybody else to get their summer in like I think they say like 2 weeks, 3 weeks or something. But nigga, it's summertime hot. So yeah, all white. Shout out to the people they getting the E-shell shades. These ladies, they finna look good. They want to look good, luxurious. Bing, bop, 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 boom, bop, bam. Y'all know Big Indian Chief ain't never gave a damn. Turn up. Hey, they get some flames in the building. Where y'all at, BCU? Turn this bitch up. Yeah. I think you're true. It's something that don't get what? Just what my dreams are really made of. Is that right? Let's stay together, you and me, boy. What's up? You around. Let go. Really like what you done to me. BCU, ATL, shot it. 2025. Done to me, I can't really explain it. Yacht party in Miami. I'm live. Back in the land. In a real Indian motherfucking me way, you dig? Got a video. To receive you. Give me something I'm like. I don't need nothing. You are my everything. Only me and you. Only me and you. Only me and you. Only me and you. It's only me, only you. Only me and you. Only me and you. All summer we turning up. Getting John with it. Make me your matter. Make me your matter. Make me your matter. Show me something. Make me a pass. Make me a pass. I'm ready. Are you ready? Are you good? Better believe you. Better receive you. Give me something I'm not. I don't need nothing. You are my everything. Only me and you. Only me and you. Only me and you. Only me and you. Only me, only you. Only me and you. Only me and you. Only me and you. Only me and you. Y'all got y'all bathing suit, Jaguar bathing suit? Do y'all have y'all Jaguar bathing suit ready for MIA? Yo, y'all party. Go get your E-Shell frame. Go get your egg balloon, man. Go get you some Jaguar frame, man. What you need, we got it. Drop by. Popeye. My bad, Popeye. Cause I'm booked. Turn up one time. Yeah, I'm booked, goddammit. And I'll say this here though, man, it's about at least 54 people that bought shirts. So we gonna be thick in that though. It's like 54 people, no exaggeration, bought shirts. So boom. I'm on that, getting that done. Goddamn, trying to get done in an orderly fashion and in a good time. But I honestly think it's gonna be some more. So, man, if y'all need a shirt, go on put it on there. I might have to grab 20 extra type of shit. You know what I'm saying? Just to make sure. Probably have to grab just like 20 just on the cool. Cause it's All-Star weekend is going crazy. Do you understand how many events gonna be taking place that day? So many speakers, everything you looking for gonna be there. You dig? That part. We let niggas out pull up. Martin say he booked. Tam say he booked. Damon say he booked, goddamn. Kerry say he forgot the shirt. Man, I'm gonna order. I'm gonna hit her when I get out here and try to tell him I probably need some more, bro. I went on there and counted. I said, God damn, we gonna be deep. We better be deep though. Miss Deborah. How you doing, Miss Deborah? Roy say contact him. When was this, mama? When, right? Because he texted me twice today. I talked to him yesterday for about 10 minutes. We had to come, like 10 minutes yesterday. And so that's how I knew he was gonna do the show with brother Young Elder. But as soon as I got the news, I hit up. And what I'm saying? He like, listen, nigga, if you call my phone, you ever call my phone, nigga, you ain't bothering me. You ever call my phone, you ain't bothering me. So me, him and Dane, it was on my mind. I was supposed to hit Dane today, but we're gonna run that back. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna run point this time. And we're gonna get busy. So shout out to Unc. Yeah, he hit me, he texted me twice today. But appreciate you, Miss Deb, for letting me know. I say shot time in the building. Yeah, sure. Where everybody at? Yeah, Ride probably, he turned up. But yeah, I talked to him for like 10, 15 minutes yesterday. I had hit him, he called me right back. I'm like, man, I know you probably tired of you busy. He like, nigga, you ever call my phone, nigga? I ain't never busy. That part. So he like, yeah, and I like how you did your thing. I'm like, nigga, it's shit, nigga, I ain't finna let you down. Yeah, nigga, I'm gonna get them what they looking for. I get on a nigga ass, yo, somebody gotta do it. Turn the TV off. Man, y'all go check out that Bloodlines of the Goers, man. I'm telling you, real scholars, niggas at the top, you gotta understand it's not one book you can read that will give you that understanding. And Bloodlines of the God, it was perfect for black magic. For that that viewership. It was perfect. And I touched everything. Really, damn near touched every doctrine too. Each denomination, I'll say. You feel me? Because we had a lot of Bible shit in there too. In the Hebrew, a lot of shit in there. The Hebrew, like, but now I got busy. You talking about we commit everything, man. That nigga drove that bitch around all the way in the circle, a perfect circle. And then he turned around and said, man, how that nigga do that? Like, cuz, what type of gas you be smoking? What type of flower you smoking? Like, nigga, how can you sit down and come up with, how you know that go with that? How you know that go right there? Like, this nigga's an alien. This nigga here, god damn. I've been told y'all niggas I was an Anunnaki. Man, y'all ain't know I was an Anunnaki, man. Come on now, man. I told y'all this shit, nigga. I'm an Anunnaki, nigga. How the hell you think I can pull some shit out? You think, nigga, no knock to no scholars out there, but you can't go get a scholar out there, nigga, that can come bring you a body of work. Ain't nobody never dropped it like that. And that nigga put it all on the screen right in your face. Live, nigga, 5D, nigga, on some 5G type of shit. Right here, right there in your face, nigga. And that nigga showed up in the places he was talking about. That was just overkill. And then he took a bow. Yeah, I like him. Young nigga got something for himself. I know y'all seen the joint with David Eltis. Well, I actually, what's taking so long is we just wanted to make sure everybody got theirs out the way. Let me just say that. Make sure y'all all got y'all out the way. Cause it's a monkey see, monkey do type of shit. People are not, trailblazing. That's one thing I can say, nigga. When I came to the game, I wasn't the first nigga out here kicking no Indian game, nigga. But what I brought something to the table. I ain't come sit at the table. A lot of niggas root for came and sat at the table, and the table was prepared already, nigga. I went and built my own table. Yeah, type shit. Blaze my own trail. Meaning I came with an understanding, a whole totally different understanding. Brought a whole fighting style, the whole military, using my playbook, everybody. Nigga, I keep receipts. I can show you from 2022 niggas using my boxing game. And today now, niggas using that agriculture could put out there to the game. Square business. But now I love that bloodlines of the God, man. Rod say, man, I was so proud of it. I'm like, nigga, I already know, nigga. I'm finna go give it to him, Monk. You think you finna put your name on it, nigga? I'm finna show him, nigga. Yeah, he like that shit. Yeah, blow the hole, nigga. I know. Yeah. Shout out to Rod. He like this shit, nigga. Go burn the whole motherfucker down, nephew. Yeah. In a real end-zone way. But we gonna get into it. We ain't gonna be too long. We gonna be strong. And but yeah, we boom. Man, I'm finna bounce. I'm finna pop out. I'm finna be out the country. I'm finna be out the country for a couple days, man. So when I come back, maybe tomorrow, we'll do. Yeah, tomorrow I set a date. We'll do it tomorrow. Even if I have to, get Trish to run it, and then I just be on my phone and not just, in my office type shit. So I do that, and I got to get the girls in the game. Registration, I've been lacking, bro, but life been lifing. But I'm head up 10 toes, head up chest out, on my shield. You feel me? All right, let's get this done and we'll get right into it, man. And again, man. So you know, Rod, and Dane. I'ma holler at Dane and it slipped my mind. I've been ripping and running all day. But yeah, to get that smoke, we finna get some work again. You know, and Topcatz running point. Cause you know, I've been on the court plenty of time with me and Dane years. Me and probably like a year. You know what I'm saying? Me and Dane probably since like 21, 22. So like Unc said yesterday, you know, it was just you know, basically him and Dane was meeting. You know what I'm saying? He was like, that's just an introduction. He was like, well, I'm gonna tell you something, Topcatz. Watch how we come this time. Because we didn't introduce ourselves. You know, we didn't got acquainted, and now, yeah, we just gonna drop a motherfucking atomic bomb.
$5 Indian.
Shout out to Young Elder, man. People keep hitting me, Young, saying you need to go on Young Elder show. I'm like, y'all tell that nigga to invite me over there. I come through chopping game with him.
Hey, Rod, they free. Hey, so yeah, I know you got the word on the streets. They Donald Trump came out. Hey, it's gonna be hard to turn black, so-called black people against Donald Trump now after he did free Larry Hoover.
Well,
right?
he didn't actually free him.
Go ahead on that.
He just
time about. Hey, Young Elder, don't even be fucked up about it, because I said the same thing to him. That nigga told me the same thing in the same manner, in the same tone. So don't even be fucked up about it. But I understood what he was saying, you know what I'm saying? And he understood what I was saying. But, you know, he wanted to get that, you know, hey, hold on, let's, you know, come down the road too. So, yeah, let's walk.
commuted his sentence. Right? He still had a pending state case. See, in Illinois, they could parole you if you catch another case and you go somewhere else. They can parole you so that when you get done with the other case, then you can go straight home. But they didn't do that in Larry Hoover's situation. So he still got a pending sentence in the state of Illinois that he got to deal with.
Yeah.
I just got done watching Little Larry, and the people were so disrespectful to Mother Winnie and to Little Larry. But they trying to tell him, man, you can't. There's certain stuff you can't do if you want to see the man home.
Mm-hmm.
And people are doing. I think they saboteurs, man, because they sit there explained it, and soon they got done explaining it, the people did exactly what they asked them not to do. Them are what I call agents. Those are saboteurs.
Right. Sound about right.
Yeah.
Esplanade. Mm-hmm.
Now, we really don't want to have to take it to the street to get the governor's attention, because I'm the wrong one to take it to the street.
Right.
I'm a whole nother animal. I'm not Martin. I'm sorry.
Hey, get the lights up, family.
Right.
Get the lights
But,
up.
no march.
Get the lights up.
No march.
Yeah, I'm not doing no marching. But the understanding of our intellectual capacity to grasp the concept surrounding his overall situation. It's just the beginning.
Hey, DM me,
Right.
Southeast. DM me. I'm gonna send you.
Yeah, we hope Dr. Malachi
the
New York be the next on this list. And we hope, and Jeff Fort. Jeff Fort is up in the same prison. All these brothers are victims of COINTELPRO operations, just like Larry was victimized.
See, they don't want to tell the public about COINTELPRO being the cause of the incarceration of the tribal leadership of the collective tribes across the land, because they want to villainize them.
Mm-hmm.
COINTELPRO is sophisticated, right? If you think they're not sophisticated, look up how much does the FBI spend a year on informants. Look up how much the CIA spend a year on informants. and how much the local police forces around the country spend annually on informants, and your mind will be blown. We got agents everywhere.
Right.
They infiltrate, they come in, they disrupt the group. So you got an agent, right? An agent, you might never know he there. But a provocateur, the root word to provocateur is to provoke.
Right.
An agent provocateur is sent in to cause the people that you're trying to control to get themselves involved in stuff that they wouldn't otherwise. Without the provocateur, they wouldn't get involved in it.
Right.
But it's classified as an illegal activity.
Yeah, they call another word they use, Roy, is called illegal entries, where they used it against the Black Panthers, where they got them to break into an armory to steal guns with no pins in them, firing pins in them, and then they use that as leverage, to come after them in one fraction.
Yeah.
The unlawful entry is the way that the government infiltrate the organization.
Hey, what up, though?
Right. That's the inserting of an agent or an agent provocateur, but that don't got nothing to do with the snitch program. See, confidential informants is actually on a payroll.
Yeah.
They actually get a check every week or every 2 weeks, depending on what their agreement is. Some of them might be once a month, but they be fat checks. Right. You ever remember going to school, everybody poor, broke, and all of a sudden one dude come to school when he just sharp as he want to be. He ain't never dressed up before. Now every day he called.
Yeah.
And it looked like he might be a D-boy, but he ain't selling nothing.
Right.
Nobody in the hood can say he sold nothing. Where y'all is running into this windfall of money for? They made him an offer.
Yeah, and I see
the earlier the infiltration begin, the most saturated you are by the time you in the position to recognize the infiltration. So you might be able to catch one or two infiltrators, but there's so many of them.
Cracking, OG?
When your organization gets so big that you can't catch them all.
With it, OG?
It's always one lurking around the corner, ear hustling. Provocateur job is to compel you to commit what's called criminal activity so that the government can justify their presence of being on tribal land, and it's all tribal land no matter how you cut it. Whether you in upstate at the furthest north point of Canada, or whether you at the southernmost point of South America or New Zealand, or whether you in the Tonga, Samoan Islands, Hawaii, whether you in the Caribbean, whether it's Jamaica, Haiti, Dominica, St. Croix, St. Lucia's, Cuba, it don't matter. Right? They all of it is tribal land.
That's right.
And the crash site for the Plymouth wreck, which was the good ship Mayflower, also known as good ship Plymouth, the crash site is what gave them the 10 square mile salvage zone called Washington, D.C. Right? That's why we had to do the totem pole ceremony in 2017. If we want Trump to dismantle the corporation, we got to reclaim that 10 square mile city-state embassy of the Crown of England and the Pope of Rome. Right? So now what ended up happening is we back and the tribes is waking up. In order for us to see Larry Hoover, we got to be at a certain level of woke. Get any action from anybody. Right?
Hey, that brings me to my next question about Larry. My next question about Larry. Okay, so they said it was a combination of several things that got him out. The petition, meaning people signed some kind of paper or whatever. Say they, then he did a non-narration, all the speeches he gave about giving back to the community and all that. Now, my next question is, you said that Larry get out on parole. Now, how much time do he got on in Illinois? Does he still got 100 years there? I mean, or he already got time served there? Brings to my next question.
Well, he was going to the parole board back in the 90s before he ever got the Fed case.
Okay.
So he was already pre-eligible for
man,
parole.
I need y'all
Another
in
thing
June,
the governor
man.
could do if he don't want to sign the pardon, he could give him a parole hearing.
For sure.
He could
I'm
just
pretty sure man, I'll be done.
he can come right into the state.
Playboy type shit. Yeah, I need them soldiers
and then
with me on that day.
The compelling cause of parole in this case would be the presidential commutation.
Right.
Because the president commuted the sentence, that shows the parole board that if the president is willing to let him go, maybe we should let him go.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And a lot of people wondering what to do next, but I let his family tell him what to do next, because the part that I posted did the campaign, the public writ and all that stuff was put in the public domain. So that's already done according to tribal standards. But now Lil Larry and Wendy got to do whatever they think is going to work to get home in order for them to satisfy their own effort. Right? That's why we can't all do the same thing. We all got a role to play. But we can support whatever they do. All we got to do, Lil Larry going to be live, here and there, giving us updates. So we can listen to Lil Larry and follow people can't follow directions. I'm sorry, but you got a bunch of smart people that can't follow directions worth a damn. They want to be leaders, but they can't follow orders. So how you going to be qualified to give one? Because you're not going to give a competent, coherent order because you don't know how to follow an order.
Hey, get the likes up. Get the likes up.
You came with the recipe on the box. So you can't follow direction, you in the way. Go sit down. But if you got enough sense to know how to follow an instruction, you well on your way to being qualified to give.
Right.
This is what the problem is today. Everybody like, we don't need no leaders. And as long as we don't got no leaders, we ain't got no qualified representative for the collective. You need leaders in a world where other people have leaders.
Right.
It just so happened that at one point, all of the head of households was taught to be leaders. They're not teaching us that no more. So the only ones that's taught to be leaders and effective leaders at that is the ones of us that grow up in structured households, and there's not a lot of us. Because they've been tearing down the family for a long time, because that was our strongest bond to our families. Our family loyalty will override our national loyalty. They call it tribalism. But they got a name for it. Now think about that. If they got a name for what we did, they call it communism. They call it socialism.
Yeah.
When it was all for one and one for all. If he speak up for me, you better not try to talk down to him, because I'm going to speak up for him because he spoke up for me.
Right.
Right.
They go
so
by
you
it,
gotta
they go by that, but they don't want you to go by it.
Yeah, they follow it to the letter.
Each other. The police take up for each other. They'll say lie. Oh, he ain't. They'll cover.
Yeah. Accidentally, I forgot to turn my body cam on when he was beating that brother with that flashlight.
Yeah. Bobby, come get my goddamn hood. How you doing?
But they tell us we can't do it.
ATL,
but turnabout fair play. Anything you see them doing, we authorized to do it because they was doing it.
We catch it.
And we need to start policing the police like the Panthers used to do.
ATL shouted.
Go ahead.
You remember, a lot of us don't know the Panthers used to police the police.
Go ahead. That's right.
Why is you stopping them? Why is you knocking on that old lady door and you know she don't want to answer because you've been knocking for 45 minutes and we done seen her peeping out the window.
Yeah, move around.
Get off that lady porch.
For real, nigga, move around.
Whatever the case may be, the police is foreign agencies. It's foreign military presence on the land. Right? They've been using usurping tactics to undermine the leadership across the land. But as long as the people think they don't need no leaders, they don't got nobody to speak up for them, who you gonna listen to?
Right.
Right? Who gonna be able to tell you when it's time to tear this sucker down or build this sucker back up? Who gonna tell you? Who you willing to listen to? Not who I'm willing to listen to, who you willing to listen to. Do you know who qualified to get you from the struggle to struggle free? Do you know who qualified?
Right.
Do you know who's competent enough to give you an operational format to go into a library and read as many books as you can until you figure out what we're dealing with? Do you know who to trust to follow them instructions from?
Right.
Right. If you don't know that stuff, then you're not supposed to speak up and you're not supposed to stand up because you're in the way. You're in the way. But if you understand the importance of having all of the people's will directed through an individual, then you understand the real manner that they use to usurp us with this fake government.
Right.
They gave you the illusion of choice, but you didn't know it wasn't an election. Right? Your vote is what they call a stake. It's a share.
Go ahead.
Right? So the shareholders is supposed to be telling the board what to do, but the board telling the shareholders who's gonna be the leader.
Go ahead.
It don't work like that. We are the ones with the vested interest in the earth. We don't have a vested interest in the company. We have a vested interest in the earth and what they're doing on earth. That's where our vested interest lies. That's what we need to be watching. Because if you watch how they treat the earth, you're going to know how they're going to treat us.
Right.
Under the matriarchy, the first question that's asked when you bring a proposal is, how does it affect our children and how does it affect the earth? Then normally it's in that order.
Right. Facts.
You know, if it's going to adversely affect the children or if it's going to adversely affect the earth, we not doing it. But they will operate from the opposite. If it's destructive to the children, we doing that. If it's destructive to the earth, we doing that. That's how they operate. That's their modus operandi. That's why they want to give you what's called compulsory education. Then they got us believing that homeschooling started from people being disenchanted with the public educational system. But homeschooling is the standard. Public education is the exception to the rule. But so many people that went with the exception, we took the exception as the standard.
And you know something, Rod? Damn, Rod, like, funny you say that because the AI was going over that today when it said that they about the boarding school. By boarding school is still going on as public school, and it was two different types of boarding school. That the one that you talked about, where they paid
taught them how to be Indians.
Yeah, they paid somebody to come over for immigrants to come over and train them to be Indians. And then the other boarding schools where they train the people who were Indians to be some other than what they were.
Yeah. So the collective program is called the assimilation program.
Okay, go ahead.
In the last 400 years, it's only one people that warned us about the assimilation program. Would you happen to know who was the only one of the leaders in the history of this country being under colonial rule told us to beware of the assimilationist Negroes?
Go ahead. Like I can't. I think you taught me before. I can't remember though.
It's Marcus Garvey.
Yeah, Marcus Garvey.
The assimilation came through the school system.
Okay.
Right. The school standard was to make the Indian suitable to fit in with Western society.
Okay.
And then it was also the other side of the school that say, we got to keep some of these rituals intact. So we're going to teach these people to pretend to be them.
Right. Actors.
Right. They came over as indentures and they was brought from what they call villages, slave villages. They didn't call them, they called them peasant villages.
Go ahead.
And this is where the king got the people for his army, and the king got the people with specialized skills. They would pluck them out of that community.
Right.
Right. So once they pluck them out of the community, if they was older, they would bring them and give them jobs. Remember, they first blocked us out the institutions with the brown paper bag test because the Mongolian could pass the brown paper bag test.
Go ahead.
And then they went from the brown paper bag test, they instituted what they call a legal enforcement mechanism called Jim Crowism.
Go ahead.
Right? The Jim Crow laws was designed to undergird the peasants with infrastructure while they deteriorate the tribes across the land.
Go ahead.
Right? So when we know what happened, Martin told the whole story. But the only thing is, we not the Martin Luther King generation. And since we not the Martin Luther King generation, we not singing "We Shall Overcome." We singing "Who is these people on this land?" Right. So a lot of us was suspicious. We suspected something, but we didn't take the time to go and dig it up. Right,
hey,
where you can tell them where to find it at.
I was gonna say. Now, before we get to, I want to go to ask you one more question about the in connection with the Larry Hoover thing. Before we go into my real questions for this class. Now, we know Larry Hoover, we pretty much finna get out based on once Trump signed of the government. The governor, he'll be crazy to go against what Trump already put together, right? And let it happen. Now we know that Dr. Malachi York. We got all the evidence. We got waivers for the people that we know that the feds rigged the case. We got all the evidence laced up. And do you think, and I already did a tape on it, will Trump pardon Dr. Malachi York? And he was, do you think that Donald Trump, what will we have to do if it ain't already been done yet to bring that to Donald Trump's attention about Dr. Malachi York, who's in there? He ain't no criminal. He ain't no gangster. He's a regular teacher. He's not no terrorist, none of that. So how, what do you think that'll be the next step? Because it's Trump in the mood of pardoning people. I think since he in a good mood, he pardoned Kodak Black, Lil Wayne, all them niggas last time. But I'm thinking since he in a good mood of pardoning people, right? How about we pardon somebody that's not a criminal? Right, that's in the same prison as Larry Hoover. What is your take on that, brother?
I think that Malachi gonna get called back to court. Right, because Trump fighting, he's already fighting a war against sex trafficking. Right, so he not gonna want to touch it. But
Malachi's he's not in jail for sex trafficking. He's in jail for racketeering.
I know. But the racketeering, the pretext to arrest Malachi was somebody was hurting the children. This is the original story, but that ain't what he ended up being convicted of in the end. Right? So people still believing that he's in there serving time on the sex charges. They don't know that he in there under RICO.
Okay.
Because they sensational. Remember, Malcolm told you, the media have you believe that the people that's working the hardest for you is your enemy, and your enemy is your best buddy.
Go ahead.
Malcolm already told that. So the media smear campaign, it might have Trump slightly shell-shocked about touching that case. But it's not going to matter because the government going to switch over by probably next summer to the tribes, back to the tribes, right? And we in the process of rebuilding tribal structure so that we can be prepared to transfer the infrastructure. And I'm going to tell you this, when they give everything back, it's going to still look the same for a while. But it's the difference going to be is local government is going to have more power to solve the issues in their local community than federal government. Because federal government is what's being dismantled because that's the overreach. I mean, it was going beyond the scope of their limitations. They disregarded what the law was in order to to reclassify us, erase us on paper like we're not here, while we sitting here looking at them erasing us on paper like we ain't supposed to know that.
Yeah, paper genocide.
So with a stroke of a pen, they made us disappear, but when we go outside, we still see us all over the land.
Right. But how did they do it? They had to bring in the boarding school and bring in the actors to play Indians. See, look, Rod, I figured it out today. This is a 300-year movie called The Indians, right? And they brought foreigners over, taught them how to our culture, and then said, you will play Indians, and we're gonna pay you to stick to this script. The script is play Indian, right? And we're gonna pay you every month to stick to this script. And it's a 300-year long movie. And so when they put that on TV and the world see it, and they show these people as Indians, that you think, okay, these the Indians. That's the whole game. It's all the illusion from the Druids in Hollywood, right? How they could say that they won is the pen. How they write people out of history. But they did it with the 300-year movie called the Native American movie. And all these people, and they set up reservations, which really is the camera crew or the camera or the, like Hollywood, right? So they put these the $5 Indians on reservations, and they made that like Hollywood. As long as they stay there and play the script of Indians, then they'll pay them every month. But by the real Indians, because they said that they exterminated 460 million Native American Indians, and then the other 40 million they use they won to make disappear. Pretty much they pen paper genocide on them, just like you just said. Which brings me to my next question. Now we can get into the class. Bring me to my next question. You did a class on the $5 Indians a while back, me and you, and I put a AI analysis. The AI did an analysis on that tape called the Hidden Dark Secret of the Dawes Roll. And in that tape, it goes to say that we didn't, because everybody was under the impression that we could get land back as individuals. Like, how do I get my land back? My land, like as an individual. And so they was under the impression, because of the Moors bringing their paperwork and their individual, oh, you own this or you own that, and that we can get our land back that way. But based on how tribal lands, could you go break that down, how tribal lands work and how it wasn't an individual ownership? Go ahead.
Remember, when you got to be too big for your britches at Big Mama house, you got your little family there and all that, and you need your own territory because your family getting too big for you to be stuck up under Big Mama. She say, so you're going to take your family, your tribe, and the ones that want to go with you, your extended family, cousins and uncles and all that stuff, and y'all going to go set up shop along these lines of demarcation. We didn't use state lines. We used natural landmarks to be the barrier to where their property line was. Right? And it's always the tribal mother is the one who's given the land. And the organizer on the land is normally the male leader. Right? She's the one who have the heritability. He's the one that have the rulership rights.
Jamie, be nice.
And,
be nice,
and
Jamie.
This is why you had, like, for instance, I mentioned before the Shoshone, right? But then you have the upper Shoshone. They're two different sides of the Shoshone River, right? So they call them Upshaw now.
Too tall, Joe.
Or they call them Shaw. Shaw is just Shoshone. Upshaw is Upper Shoshone, right? But then you have other names for different tribes, like based on perfection, like Taylors, Smiths, Goldsmiths, right? Those names was the family profession, and the territory, they could have been under any territory because they was so focused on their profession, and that's how they fed their family. We got this 40-hour work week philosophy, and we think that's how this is supposed to go. It's supposed to go like this. Look, if you got a big big family and y'all got a farm, only about 2 or 3 people was supposed to go out and work a labor job for somebody else. The rest of them supposed to work on the farm. That means somebody got to help run the family business. And all of this goes into determining where you're going to be on the land, your temperament, how you going to interact with the local tribes on the land, right? So what's your vine and fig tree?
Yeah,
right. Everybody, like for instance, what the Jehovah's Witnesses do. They stated Jehovah's Witnesses, they go out and propagate, and they call that fishing. They go out the same as the church, but they stay to themselves, right, under their own vine and fig tree. The same with the Mormons.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep my eye on you.
The same with the Quakers or the Amish. They stay to themselves.
I think
that used to be the rule. That's one of the laws of the land. You can even take Scientology, right? And they stay to the Scientologists stay among their own. They build little villages. The government decided to call them compounds so they can villainize the village, right? But they would build these villages so that they can live communally and live off the land where they don't really need the government. The government is a legal fiction. You're not supposed to rely on the government. The government not supposed to take care of you. All the government supposed to do is make sure everybody got food, clothing, and shelter. That's it. They ain't supposed to do nothing else. Everything else they doing, from traffic courts to child support, all that, they not supposed to do none of that. All that is just extra. Because they're giving you the illusion that they really running the show, and they don't run nothing. This ain't their house. But as long as you let somebody else come in your house, write your menu, tell you what you gonna eat, what you not gonna eat, tell you what your furniture gonna look like, what it's not gonna look like, you're not gonna have no ancestral altar, but you're gonna put this Bible on that table. All of that stuff that they told us not to do, that would give us our autonomous rights, right? Our sovereignty, the power to determine our own destiny. They took it all away from us, but they told us they was giving us freedom. They was taking freedom under the pretense of giving you freedom. So they were screaming, we fighting for freedom, and all the time they enslaving the whole nation.
Damn, that's cold. Hey, which brings me to my next question, Rod. Because we got the Indian Bureau, the Indian Bureau. Now, a lot of tribes are registered on federal documents. You got some people like to come in. Oh yeah, well my tribe number is this, right? My registered number with the government, right? So, could you go in on a little bit on a difference between outlaw chiefs and chiefs that chose to register with the government? And because it's 70% of the tribes that's registered. Most of them $5 Indian tribes, and the ones that did, it's a lot of them that ain't registered with the government, but they still got certain rights. How does that work? Could you go in on that, on the difference between those who registered with the government and those who not?
The ones who registered with the government accepted defeat. The ones who outlaw chiefs, they never contracted with the government. Somebody else could have contracted on their behalf, but that's not them. Can't nobody sign no contract on your behalf without your knowledge or consent.
Hey, even if that's on an international level, like they say, oh, it's an international thing, right?
It don't matter. It don't matter. Even international law, which the law of commerce is governed by Uniform Commercial Code. And even in the Uniform Commercial Code, nobody can contract on your behalf.
Countries, I want to see you.
And this is what the whole BIA, Bureau of Indian Affairs, is all about: compelling you to not fight them, and then they can dictate your life to you. But the outlaw tribes is the ones who we've been here. You're gonna tell me I can live on the land? I'm the caretaker of the land. What you mean you bought the land? We can't sell you no land. Nobody don't got no. So the land barons is the ones that came up with the mortgage contracts, right? Then the corporate legal fiction called America use what they call salvage rights, they use squatter rights, and they use eminent domain to assert jurisdiction all across the land. That's what the Lois and Clark expedition was all about. They wanted to see how many of the chiefs stayed behind in their castles when the rest of the tribes went to go fight the Gullah Wars.
Hold on, y'all. We're going to bounce over real quick. We're going to bounce over. We're going to do this. We're going to bounce over to Bro Rich.
I ain't going for that one. Rod be like, all right. He like the big brother. He be like, all right. I'm telling you. But Rod kept talking about Larry Hoover. And I want to know what's the connection right now with Trump doing what he's doing with that. Why would he do that? And we're going to have a good connection tonight. Yeah, commute, not pardon. Yeah, but it's coming. Yeah, Rod's going to get into all of that, as well as other things. There's something, a lot of things brewing. So with that being said, Rod, man, welcome back to the show, my brother.
Thanks, Brother Rich. Kind of remind you of the Crip Walk thing I'll talk about the next thing you know.
Same thing. I'm like, why is this dude? I'll be saying that a lot about Rod. I'm like, why does this dude keep talking about this? And then boom, it's in the news months or a year later, and I'm like, oh shit, wow, this dude really know what the fuck he be talking about. So let's start the show out, Rod. Why did President Trump do what he did? I've heard a lot of speculation. A lot of people are happy. A lot of people said it's just, you know, a symbolic gesture. He's not coming home. That's just some shit to make the people happy and not do nothing at the same time. What's your thoughts on why Trump did what he did? What's the spiritual reason, the mundane reason? Let's have a talk about this, Rod. What's going on with this? Because you're the man who's been talking about Larry Hoover since you came on my show the first time.
Yeah, so the thing being is this. Larry Hoover is an actual blood chief on the land with
y'all see that
right
chair
from his
sitting
mother's
in on
land.
the picture. Y'all see that chair sitting in.
His wife, Winnie, is his tribal mother. She's the tribal mother for the nation, right? But the government and COINTELPRO initiated activities to disrupt the natural formation of the tribes and to interrupt the unity practices right? So when you see him tell Larry to give Larry some relief, he say what he did it for. He said there was a petition, and he said there was public outcry, right? And then he gave another reason, but I forgot the other reason. But he commuted sentence. He can't give him a full pardon because he still have a case pending in the state of Illinois that operate by different legal standards than the Fed, right? They want the governor of Illinois to give Larry a pardon, but the smartest thing I think would be to petition the parole board based on the commutation as the underlying element to lobby for a special consideration parole review. I wouldn't go in trying to get the governor because the governor beefing with Trump, so that'll end up making Larry a political tennis ball, right? In the back and forth between the governor of Illinois and Trump. So we don't want him to be the underlying proper noun in their game of tennis. The parole board only grants special considerations under what they call compelling circumstances, right? By Trump issuing his commutation, then that is a compelling circumstance that if the president issued him reprieve, then the parole board should consider an immediate parole release. But I don't know how his family want to pursue it, his immediate family. But I just think that would be the smartest path to take, smarter than trying to get a governor at war with a president that gave him some air and he become part of their political jargon, their political back and forth. So now what we looking at is he can be home as soon as 90 days.
Wow.
Right? But the problem being is, what avenue will the family think would be the most intelligent? Now, spiritually, just the work for Larry to come home in the spirit realm been done already. Right? And it's a lot of people that's going to follow him out. He's going to be like the Pied Piper or locked up people coming home. Right? And this going to have certain effects that's going to reverberate through the communities. And a lot of these kids that's just out here with their switches acting like they ain't got no senses, they going to want to be like, wait a minute. And they going to want to know his story. His story's supposed to inspire them to unify, because that's what he really got locked up for. Him, Jeff Ford, David Barksdale, the main 21 of the Peace Stones in the top tier growth and development. You know, we don't remember when the Dan Ryan was being built and all of the so-called gangs didn't want the highway running through the middle of the city, so they formed what's called the LSD Alliance, right? And then they all came to protest the building of the Dan Ryan. Well, they built it anyway because they have no regard for the tribes, because we don't have contracts with them. This is why Larry in there in the first place. We don't have contracts with them. We classify as foreign dependent nations. I don't even know what the hell that means, right? We ain't never gonna be foreign on the soil that we sprang from. That don't even make sense. They call us Indian combatant nations. It's another name they use for us, right? They use outlaw tribes because when they established their constitutional law, we wasn't part of it. Never been part of it. But they using their overreach of constitutional jurisdictional authority, a subject matter, to override the territorial jurisdiction, right? Which is the law of the land. So they use the admiralty jurisdiction with no regard for the law of the land. That's a tsunami. Right? So, but the more we inform, as consciousness of the people raised to what's going on, that's going to be the catalyst for more and more people that's going to be an asset to the community to get some air from being a prisoner of war on their own homeland. We don't know the police is a foreign military. We think that they that they supposed to be here. They're not supposed to be here. It's an appointment position for the chief of police. Nobody with that much power is supposed to be appointed. It's too much power. Y'all got all of the guns. Y'all control the armory of the town. Y'all supposed to be elected by the people in the town. You're not supposed to be appointed. That's why you got sheriffs. Sheriffs are elected law officials. You ain't supposed to be appointed to law. What's supposed to happen is the mayor is supposed to request a deputy lieutenant if he have what they call a high crime district to put a deputy sheriff, a lieutenant deputy sheriff over the town and give them more resources, and then it comes out of the city's coffers. But instead of doing that, they hire in a foreign mercenary military from overseas, and we wondering why they keep shooting people in the back. They sensationalize and race bait with police assassinations. But when you go really start digging, they equal opportunity murderers. They will kill anybody. They worse than the gang, because the gang, most of the gangs, when they kill somebody, it's considered a op or a rival gang. The police is a foreign military, and they could shoot you down, black, white, or otherwise.
Hey, get the lights up. Get the
they
lights
are
up.
enforcing the war codes of the interim government. The interim government can't go until the tribes figure out why they here, right? The lawman that was with birthright to enforce the law of the land, they locked him up right behind Larry, Jeff Ford. He's supposed to be the law of the land. He's supposed to be the one organizing the red houses. When you went to wear the red war bonnet, that's a war regalia. And those who represent the one who wears the red bonnet, war bonnet, that leads his troops, which is Angel Bay, Jeff Ford. Larry is the spokesperson, the diplomat. He was supposed to be negotiating terms of agreements between other chiefs on the land. Well, they was locking them all up. And that was their worst mistake, because now you got all of the chiefs sleeping in the cell next to each other. And they can create treaties spiritually and physically among themselves to change the condition of the collective. It's up to the collective to get them the required support. Like yesterday, Lil Larry did a video. He was asking them to stop putting the pitchforks and the 6-point stars, because to the government, that's promoting what they call criminal behavior. And they kept doing it. But you got to remember, the feds pay out the DEA, FBI, CIA, and the police. They pay more money. They pay enough money in the snitch program to get us out of poverty. Oh, they give it snitches. They got paid informants and make damn near $100,000 a year. But they grew up in our community. We all seen them, but we didn't know who they was. You know, the one that ain't never sold a bag, all of a sudden he got all this money, getting all the same stuff the drug dealers getting. Right, but he don't sell nothing. But he always up under the one selling. Or if he's into the stick-up game, he ain't never robbed nobody, but all he do is hang out with the stick-up crew in the hood. And he got just as much money as them, but he don't do what they do. Where he getting his money from? They showed us, and Lawrence Fishburne showed us in Deep Cover how they operate. We got to remember, what was the one with Arnold Schwarzenegger, Raw Deal, where they went and got a remote sheriff and sent him into town to be a gangster in order to get revenge for the dude that shot the police chief daughter or some stuff, right? Then they had the show called Wise Guy, right? And in this show is almost the same as Deep Cover, but it's a series. And it's a dude that's trying to infiltrate the mob. They sitting there giving us all of the tools of or all of the mechanics of how they infiltrating us, but we not paying it no attention because we too busy struggling under the pain of poverty and the struggle to get out the hood. The struggle was never to get out the hood. We weren't trying to get away from each other. We was just trying to find opportunities from where we was so that we couldn't be looked down on as a pariah of society, right? They turn around and they start turning the clans against each other under their chief. The chief's like, why are they not listening to me? Larry and Jeff been friends since teenagers, right? They all know the Vice Lord leadership, Benny Lee and all them. They know all of them. They've all sat down and broke bread trying to figure out how to unite the youth. And then somebody in the mix of them is always an antagonist, a provocateur, right? The provocateur do the crime and they try to lure other people into it. But when it's time for the crime to be effectuated, everybody they recruited there, but they ain't there, right? They just sent everybody to go to commit this crime, and then they dip. They strategies haven't changed, right? But right there in the United States Code say that if the government creates a condition of a crime, right, or creates elicits a person to commit a crime, right? Then that person is not guilty by what they call entrapment. Now, most of us don't know COINTELPRO was designed to take the leadership, the natural leadership, because we can always gravitate toward us as opposed to politicians in Washington. We're not going to look up to nobody in the capital of the state for a remedy for our problems. We're going to look from somebody that came from where we at, grew up with us to come with the solution, and they knew this. So what do? Every child that shows promise, especially the boys, because they normally lead the war cause. If the boy look like he can organize, get rid of him. If he look like he can educate and inform, get rid of him. If the people look like he's the most loved, most respected, get rid of him. You have to find a way to get rid of him. Always try to get rid of him. Can't let him have a leader. J. Edgar Hoover wrote in the mission statement of the COINTELPRO that they purpose. The mission was to stop the rise of any potential messiah who could incite the masses. We don't have messiahs over here, right? Messiahs came from a different culture. We had different leaders over here, but they looked like everybody else because we didn't have the separation in the families where my family better than yours. We used to play the dozens, but that was for fun, right? But we didn't really have in our heart that my family is better than yours. Is that how can my family and your family make more out of abundance out of life? That's why they broke up Black Wall Street. That's the principle. Right? It's the principle. You can't allow the oppressed to understand what the oppressor is doing that keeps them oppressed. What is the tools of oppression being used to tie your hands, your feet, and binds you to their cross? If you don't understand it, there's no way you can help yourself, let alone somebody else. So some of us, Larry say, some of us got to hit the books. We ain't gang banging no more. We brain banging because as he matured as an individual and self-educated and self-imprisoned, it dawned on him that the conditions, we wasn't educated enough in our community to see the conditions and to read the strategy being used against us. We didn't understand warfare. We didn't understand political paradigms. We didn't understand conquest and conquering mechanisms of power from kings and queens because everybody over here was a no big I know you philosophy. And if we had a problem with each other, we ran that fade, but didn't nobody die. Now they die off the basic misunderstanding you could think of. Right? Why you step on my shoe? Remember what Ice Cube wrote? Us. We'll always sing the blues because all we care about is hairstyles and tennis shoes. And if you stepped on mine, you pushed a button because I'm going to beat you down like it ain't nothing. Killing each other like savage beasts. But I'm the first one to holler out peace, black man. Think about that for a minute.
Yeah.
Ice Cube told us that, and he was like 22, 23 when he told us that. If that. So how well did that teenage boy understand the problem to be able to put it in song format to express it to us? Right? And this is all done by outside interference. And this all traced back to the underlying cause to Larry being locked up, Jeff being locked up, Imam Al-Amin being locked up, Assata being in exile. It's all the same.
But Rod, I was just about to ask you, that was going to be my next question. Why do you think Trump keeps calling, black people get happy? Anything Trump do, Trump supporters, they the biggest dick riders I ever seen in my life. But Trump keeps saying he wants Assata. He wants to bring Assata back to the States. Why you think he keeps talking about Assata? Cuba ain't letting Assata go. Why does Trump keep talking about he
Cuba?
wanna? Yeah,
Cuba not holding her hostage. Cuba not holding her hostage. The problem is if they want Assata to come home, everybody write to Governor New Jersey and say, give us pardon Assata. Just like they want all these people in the Fed to be pardoned by Trump, but ain't nobody's really speaking up for Assata Shakur. You know, you had a few people that understood the struggle. Kanye got a song about Assata. Pac talked about her in a couple of songs. The reason why you want people to continuously mention the name of a person that suffers an injustice, so that you can establish justice on behalf of the person that was done unjustly. Somebody got to be able to tell the story of Assata Shakur, and who better to tell the story than Assata Shakur? She the best person to tell the Assata Shakur story. I could tell her story. Pac could tell her story. Biggie can tell her story. Mobb Deep can tell her story. NWA can tell it. The best person to tell Assata Shakur story is Assata Shakur. And they don't want her telling her story. But now that the old system, because remember, the last 8-9 years, we've been going through continuity of government since the first Trump administration. Right? We got to remember, Obama is a foreigner. He's not from here. And he wasn't born here is why the birth certificate even mattered. Because constitutionally, when he took office, that was the end of America. America had been successfully conquered by a foreign outside force. They tried to kill him for it. Did Gregory tell the story about Petraeus and how Petraeus got arrested trying to assassinate Obama? But he ain't tell you what it was about. Obama looked like us, but he not one of us. He one of them boys from Brazil, from the Nazi breeding program, and they got more than one of them.
I think you told me something about Akhenaten, right? They
Yeah, that's who mummy they took cells from to culture the cells and reproduce a pharaoh that they thought could pull rank on the boy king. You're not gonna do that. It's a hierarchy of enforcement in the tribal ways around the world. All tribes was put into the game and under Sukarno during the Bang Dong Conference. All tribes was activated then. We didn't have no answer for white supremacy before the Bang Dong Conference. Now we had an answer for it, but everybody not applying the answer. Or else it wouldn't have took us from the 1950s Bang Dong Conference to the 2020s in order to determine how to break free. Nobody's paying attention. Everybody's trying to live their own individual life, but it's the sacrifice of the community.
We love you too.
And then by sacrificing the community to live your life, you end up getting sacrificed by the community for living your life. So it's the two double-edged swords cutting both ways.
Yeah. I want to read you because I want to post this. I want to wait, hold up. Let me text my lady back. Give me 1 second. I want to read you because I want to read you some comments from Instagram and TikTok. And I'm gonna take this, your answer, what you answer with this, I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna post it on Instagram and TikTok as a clip. Because you know, majority of us on this channel, we know what the deal is. These people that's commenting, making certain remarks, they may not be privy to the same information as the people on this channel. So I just want to let you know how some of the masses may think when they hear about Larry Hoover.
Hey, get the likes up.
Hold up. Give me a second, family.
All-Star Weekend, ATL, y'all pull up. We got surprise guests and everything.
Larry Hoover is a man who should have never been pardoned. Another comment. Black men who contribute to the delinquency of their communities always get so much love, but God forbid a woman is a stripper or entertainer or speaks up against the speaks up about abuse. Next comment. We have to understand how the system works so we can recognize performative acts with the agenda to appease our people. Trump can only pardon at a federal level. Hoover still has life with the state. So at the end of the day ended with the same result as yesterday. Next comment. No, we got to stop glorifying gang leaders that contributed to the detriment of our community. Next comment. He was a gangster that contributed to the demise and destruction of his own black community. Let's not do this. Crawl, and they said Chance, because that's the person, Chance the Rapper made a post about him, defending him. So they said, Chance, crawl back into the hole you came out of.
Yeah.
Next comment. Meanwhile, grandma Medicaid is being taken away, but NBA is back. Y'all so celebrity obsessed. Next comment. Y'all acting like he's Fred Hampton or something. This is ridiculous. And this is going to be the last comment I read, and you can make your response. And like I said, I'm going to post this for people who may not be privy to the information on people in this as the people on this channel. Indeed, he was a no. Where is it? Hold up, y'all. All right, I'm gonna end it there because I don't see. I'm gonna see it there. What do you think about those comments on Instagram and TikTok?
It shows how either those people are not our people and don't understand our culture,
Right.
or they've been successfully indoctrinated by the assimilation system that Garvey warned us about. Because once you believe that the system is working in your interest, anybody that they villainize is going to be your villain, and anybody that they make a hero is going to be your hero. This is how we get caught up in celebrity worship, as one of the comments was about celebrities. The celebrity worship is they give us celebrities in place of leadership. So we had a bunch of children in the 80s called rappers that came out as children and told us about leadership in music. So they had to shut it down. These people was waged a war against us, and propaganda warfare is more powerful than bullets and gun warfare. Because under bullets and gun warfare, you can clearly see the enemy busting at you. But when you go under propaganda warfare, your enemy controls the media. Your enemy controls the banking system. Your enemy controls the education of your child. That your enemy controls your entertainment, right? Your enemy controls where you're going to work, if you're going to be able to stay there. Your enemy control all political arenas from the local level to the federal level and everything in the middle. Your enemy has placed admiralty judges across the land to give you the appearance of legitimacy. Your enemy has put uniforms on and flooded the community because they foreign agents. They have to clearly identify themselves. If you don't understand none of that stuff, then you speaking presumptuously without knowing why you feel the way you feel. The only reason why you don't know that you've been indoctrinated and brainwashed is because you've been indoctrinated and brainwashed. I don't even like to say brainwashed. I like to say contaminated mind, because to wash something is to cleanse it. So I think most of us need to be brainwashed because they gave us so much filth to put our trust in a government that has nothing to do with the people. That's not actually a government. It's actually a corporation, like Halliburton did in Iraq and Afghanistan. They repeating the same history over and over, but you have people that still don't know what's going on in the world around them, so they derive opinions based off propaganda warfare. And you're going to always, when you base your opinion off propaganda, you're going to always show yourself by the stance you take on the topic you do not understand, but you think you do. Right? Neely Fuller was quoted by Francis Wellesley in the ISIS papers. And it said, the quote she quoted him as saying is, if you don't understand white supremacy, then everything that you think you understand is only confusing you. I come from the school of thought that feel like this. We're not always supposed to all agree all the time. That's foolish. People have a right to have a different opinion than I have, a different understanding of the same material that we both read than I have. They may see stuff in there that I don't see. I may see stuff in there that they don't see. That goes to individuality. The person being able to express themselves and to tell you what they see, but also able to understand and listen to what you see. That gave you 2 points of view on the same subject matter, and now you use it as comparative analysis to reconcile the differences in the two. This is exactly the process of questioning that Neely Fuller give in the United Independent Compensatory Code in order to combat the ideology of white supremacy. White supremacy is an actual operative war protocol being instituted under the all 9 areas or 10 areas of people activity.
Real, your ass better be in ATL.
The blueprint or the definition of what it is written as protocols of the learned elders of Zion, which is billed as a fictitious document, but everything that they say them people is doing in that book, they actually doing it in real life. And if you understood the book, you can look around and you can see that the people that's in charge of everything in the book told you what they was going to try to get in charge of. And they did it. And the only reason they was more successful than us is because they was teaching us something called rugged individualism, where we can pull ourselves up by our own bootstraps when we don't have boots. So this is how they get us seduced into fighting for them instead of fighting to liberate our own self and our own mind. That's why Larry say, we not gang banging, we brain banging. Get in the library and read the books. Read the whole library if you can. The law library, the art library, whatever library you get into, read it. Because as the information mature in your mind, you'll be able to see the problem better. So those people that make those comments, they're entitled to say whatever they want to say, but that don't make them right. Right? Like somebody brought up the Alliance Credit Union case. More of the Alliance Credit Union, and they was telling me that the case was fictitious, so I had to go double back and found that it was based on the ruling of a tax case, Moore versus United States, but somebody used it to put the information as to how to defend against the mortgage fraud in the case based on that other case. So it's like a parody. The thing about it is there's a 1890 something case or early 1900s case out of it's either Minnesota or Wisconsin in the Northwest Territory that tells how the person who had the mortgage was defrauded because the bank never gave them anything of value. Right? And that case still stands, but nobody uses it to fight their mortgage claims. Right? But the more of the Alliance Credit Union is using the same information that was used in the prior case to write the parody based on the more of the United States case. And I had to go back and look into that. But all the information is not always accurate. You guys be able to withstand correction if you want to move beyond the error. Ain't nobody perfect. We ain't supposed to believe everything that everybody say anyway. We supposed to believe what our inner self tell us about what they say more than we believe what they say. Because once you become your first point of reference, you begin to see through a lot of the misaligned information. Like the villainizing of words is critical to propaganda warfare. Tribe and gang mean the same thing. And matter of fact, not only do they mean the same thing, democracy at its root, where the majority rule by vote, ties back into them same two words, tribe and gang. Right? It's called mob rule and democracy. And when you go back to just read Plato's Republic, and you realize that all of the stuff they're doing is a big stage play in order to occupy the mortal mind while they rule the world. Right? So those people can have their opinions and they can believe everything they want to believe.
Right.
But Iran-Contra proves that the government was bringing the dope in, flooding our communities with it.
You know, Rod,
Somebody
so you talked
about
the stage play that's happening while certain elites, so-called elite, rule the world. This so-called elite, Phil calls them the parasitic elite. They have access to a lot of information we don't have access to.
Yes, they do.
They hide a lot of information and use it for themselves, or or they flood the world with misinformation just to confuse the people. You are a very spiritual brother. Obviously, we all know at this point. One of the things that you do is astral travel. And you told me we had the conversation on the phone. You told me you astral traveled and came across the information in this book. What I want to ask you, let's get a little deeper now. We talked about, the surface level of this thing. Let's get a little spiritual with this thing here. If you astral travel and you're coming across certain information, I'm sure you come across certain spirits when you astral travel. Have you ever came across the elite, the so-called elite, while you're astral traveling, because they're trying to obtain the same information you're trying to obtain, because they know where the fuck to go to get it? It's in your DNA. You know, but you don't know, but you run into the motherfuckers and they're like, what you doing here? And you're like, what you doing here? And you're there at the same time. Have you ever ran into them astral traveling, my brother?
Well, we gotta remember, one of the things that you learn when you practicing sorcery is cloak magic.
Yeah.
Cloaking magic, they might look like a disincarnate being of a grotesque nature, or they can look extremely attractive. It don't matter, as long as you don't see the person for who they are. The same magic is being played on us in the physical realm that they use in the astral to hide themselves while they do their dirt. Franz Bardon wrote a book called Frabato the Magician. And in the book, Frabato the Magician, they made a movie about it with Perry Mason in it.
Okay.
Anyway, he was talking about his war with the dark sorcerers in the book. And it's a fiction, but it's loosely based on his life. Right. And he's telling how they use magic, and you can sense the magic better than you can sense who's sending it.
I got you, Freeman. I got you. Don't worry about it. I got you.
So they was using rituals against him, and then he was using counter magic, protection magic, to block him out from doing anything to him. Right. So on the astral plane, normally if somebody have malice, they don't astral travel. Most of the elites today don't use spirit science. They use technology to do the same thing that you do spiritually. Right. While we was astral traveling, they was learning remote viewing, but they was also developing a computer program that can do massive amounts of mathematical equations called Operation Looking Glass. Right. And they got frustrated with it because no matter what scenario they put in, it was always a 2012 convergence from every angle they looked at the problem, no matter what they tried to interject as a different variable. Right. So they use technology because a lot of them don't have access to the spirit realm, the astral realm, the etheric realms. They don't have access. So they use the technology in the 3D world as if it was magic. But they don't astral travel much. Normally what you find in the astral travel is you find somebody that was a convert or a loyalist to the elites. And they haphazardly traveling. They don't even know what they're doing. And you bump into them It is like bumping into somebody that don't really understand where they at on the street. Like, where am I at? You can clearly sense their sense of amnesia. That means they traveling, but they don't know they traveling. They think they just having a dream.
Damn. What's your thoughts on? I think I seen you post something on Instagram. Let me pull it up real quick. Shout out to y'all in the chat. What we got going on in the chat? We got about 3,400 people in here. Shout out to all of y'all. Let me pull up something with Rod. Give me 1 second, y'all. Take a two. Very mechanical. Very mechanical.
But then you got the other ones that got that flow. It's the same when you got Mexicans, they got that flow. You hardly ever hear them sound mechanical. You had the only brother in the last 30, 40 years that was sounding mechanical was Chubb Rock. And he was still riding that beat, banging out them tracks. Right? But if you go back further, that was the standard under Curtis Blow, the Cold Crush crew. It was the beginning of it. It was developmental phases of learning rhyme patterns. Then Rakim came, and LL came, and Run came, and they changed the delivery of them by putting rhyming words in places that other people didn't think to put them in. Then Rakim say some of my rap patterns still surround Saturn. Think about that for a lyric. Right? The maximum amount of information in one bar. Some of my rap patterns still surround Saturn.
Hey, Rob, what was it, Chubb Rock? I remember Chubb Rock. The heavy
1990, Chubb Rock jumps up on the scene with the green and the hardcore dream. The dream wasn't crafted to be pornographic.
There you go. There you go. Oh, shit. Oh, man. Damn, man. Oh, man. Reminiscing on our music. What was the hook of that song? Do you remember the hook of that track right there? The one you
treat them right. Go treat them right.
Go, 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 go.
Yeah.
They be like, treat them right. See, y'all, I know some of this. Yo, damn, man. Oh, man. Yo, this is a beautiful thing, man, to reminisce on music. Oh, man. That's what they did in the movie Sinners, y'all. Oh, man, that's a beautiful thing. Right. So let me ask you this, man. Having a good time as usual. Shout out to everybody in the chat. We got 3,800 people in the chat. I gotta ask you, man. Before I go there, because I was gonna go to the whole September thing and the Virgo season and how things are lining up and all of that. And it's interesting. Well, let me say this. What's interesting, Ron? Let me say this. You did a show with me. What's this? 2025.
Mushroom.
The beginning of 2024. We did a show in the beginning of the year, and you was like, "Yo, we enter the golden age." And you was like, what was that name? The Mahabata. What was it called?
The Maherta.
Maherta. It was the Maherta, right? And you was telling people about how we got ushered into the golden age. One of the first things Trump said, since we're talking about Trump, when he became president, he said he's going to bring us into the golden age. Who does Trump, for Trump to be doing the shit you talking about, Rod, man, who does Trump work for, man? You talk about Larry Hoover, Trump getting into this Larry Hoover shit. You talk about the golden age, Trump talk about the gold. Who Trump work for, man? We be saying this shit, man. Who Trump work for? How? Because he be into some esoteric shit, I see. Even the way he talks about magic and the way he manifests things into this realm. Who does this man work for, brother?
He's working for military high command. The military high command is right now operating not in the Pentagon. Everybody that's in the Pentagon is isolated. That's where the traitors at.
Okay.
The people that Trump worked for is in Colorado and Raven Rock, in where if something happens, they're supposed to usher all of the most important people on the land into the bunker, like in case of nuclear war. That's not gonna happen, but it has happened before. But it ain't gonna happen because it's not required. It's not necessary. But he worked for military high command transitional government team. They're commonly referred to as the White Hats. and there was a group of military generals and admirals who had retired. Some of them were still in, but they had discovered the fraud. They had discovered the fictitious nature of the government, and they needed to come up with a strategic program in order to give the land back to the caretakers, which was the tribes. The problem now is not giving the land back to the tribes. The problem is if you give the land back to the tribes, they don't remember what to do with it. So you have to do everything in what they call drip fashion. Instead of come a point, though, where the drip is going to turn into the floodgates busting open. And that's when we going to get a lot of information that's going to verify what we can't give you receipts for, right? Like the Gitmo. They print, it's in print who's been executed at Gitmo, but the general conditioned public that's been subject to years of propaganda abuse, they don't accept that as valid because it didn't come on NBC, CBS, ABC, CNN, Nightline, Dateline, Fox. Since it didn't come from those sources, they consider the source as an unreliable source, even if the reporter that's reporting it is on the registry as a reporter and have the reporter credentials and is sitting there in the tribunals while they taking place. The people still don't believe that it took place because they didn't see it yet on their mainstream media. Remember, I told you at the end, all of your favorite newscasters that work for the CIA gonna be gone. And then you're gonna have another group of news reporters that's gonna come in and they're gonna be truthers. And they're gonna be telling you news that the news normally wouldn't tell you. That's how you gonna know that the major upper 90% of the switch is taking place when the newscasts change. Then the next thing you gotta look for is when they replace the police, the foreign military force with the National Guard, because they know foreigners don't have more right than the people of the land to police the land. So in order to get rid of the foreign agents, you have to put National Guard in their stead until they can balance out the community again and get rid of crime.
Right. Well, let me ask you this, Rod. What's the deal with Larry Hoover? People Kanye West talked about him a lot. I just mentioned Chance the Rapper said something about him. These are individuals that's from Chicago. Chicago's always in the news for some negative shit. They make it seem like they call it Chirac. They make it seem like you go to don't ever go to Chicago. You talked about who they vilify is somebody we need to look toward, and who they praise somebody we need to not support in terms of the media. For them to vilify and make Chicago look so horrible, like I'll give you an example. I hear so much things about New York and it sits on crystals, and this is why New York is so the Empire State or whatever. What the hell is it about Chicago that we may not be aware of, that our ancestors knew, that they know, that they don't want us there, that produces people like a Larry Hoover? Talk to me about Chicago and the history from our ancestors way back, whatever. Some spiritual, metaphysical talk, Rod, because there's something about this. The Nation of Islam, Minister Louis Farrakhan, Elijah Muhammad. I could go on and on about Chicago. But what is it about Chicago, spiritually speaking, Rod?
All of these major cities, Chicago, New York, New Orleans, Miami, Atlanta, LA, Las Vegas, lesser Vegas than some of the other ones, but they all sitting on ancient metropolises. Those were cities long before Columbus ever got over here.
Okay.
Right? Chicago was a city long before John Baptiste du Sable was born.
Somebody saying Chicago is Haitian territory. What the hell?
You in trouble.
Is that?
That's Baptiste du Sable. He was Haitian. And they give him credit with being the founder of Chicago. But the reason why Chicago was sparsely populated, because all of the people in Chicago, just like a lot of other major cities, went to Florida to fight in the Gullah Wars. That's why they couldn't beat us. Right now, the
one
government know
I want you in
that
Atlanta.
we
Come get
had
my
what
hug
was
in
called
Atlanta.
Grand Doula Centers.
Mm-hmm.
The Grand Doula Center in Chicago used to be exactly where Cook County Hospital was. Ancient souls tend to come back to the certain places based on when they're going to be born.
Islam,
So they follow the metropolis's stellar alignment. Every city has a zodiac sign, right? Based on birth date or what they call date of charter. And the corporate charters have an expiration date, but they don't tell us that all of this stuff have an expiration date. But this is the reason why Congress did the 400-year recognition. That was recognition in 2019, the 400 years of warfare, of invasion and colonization by what they call the Israelites. We know we naturally godly people, but we also are aware tribally that God don't favor rod over rich or rich over rod. But rich and rod both have a different job in the overall scheme. And God wants us both to do our job as effectively as possible. And sometimes it brings people together, but sometimes it divides people and separate them.
Right.
When you're talking about the proper conditions for a leader to rise up from an oppressed people, they have to have a strong congregation of the people that's oppressed in order for it to be a fertile soil for a new leadership to rise up. You have to live through the experience of the condition in order to figure out how to solve the condition. Right? So if you don't know if you didn't come from an area, you don't really understand a problem until you go there and spend some time there.
Okay.
Right? So like New York, the 5 boroughs, the 5 different tribes that made up the boroughs before colonization. It was a 5-tribe confederacy. It's the same way that the Iroquois had one and the Cherokee had one. But the tribes that was touched up against each other made agreements to prevent war. We didn't need war. We knew how to communicate with each other. We knew how to talk. We knew how to respect each other. We knew how to honor each other with rights to dissent from what our opinion is without getting all blowed out of shape. Now a dude come to you can run his whole broken plan down about breaking into the bank in the middle of the night and robbing the vault. That's not going to happen. But as soon as you tell him that's not going to happen, oh man, you a hater. Right? Because it's conditioning. But when you go to any part of the country, we had you could still see the mounds. Everywhere you see a mound, that used to be a city. The mounds was created as a centerpiece of a city. Right? It's easier to see it in Mesoamerica than it is where the foliage has covered it up with greenery in the main north and south. Like it's a whole monkey village under the forest in the Amazon. But it's a Hanuman village, actually, but they call it the monkey village. Hanuman is another name for Tahuti.
What's another
name? It is what you call Hanuman. Hanuman is spoke about in the Ramayana as a companion to Lord Ram. Right? But in China, they call him Sun Wukong. Same character, different culture. Right? And the monkeys is symbolic of the monkey mind. If you can tame the monkey mind and gain control of the mind, the rogue aspect of the mind, then you begin to access information that other people can't.
Right, this is a good point. They said the Hanuman tribe was in Black Panther. Black Panther 1. I remember I didn't see Black Panther 2, but I remember in Black Panther 1 they were mentioned, yeah.
Also, the what's my man name in BK and Biku was the king of the Gorilla Clan.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's still now. If you pay attention to the dynamic, they telling you in the theatrical performance that T'Challa, the Black Panther, aka Tupac, out of Oakland, is calling for the chief of the guerrilla clan
out of Oakland, right? Killmonger was out of Oakland, right?
T'Challa was too.
Yeah, they ended up in Oakland.
When you go to the beginning of the movie, they in Oakland, California, looking at a UFO. Or it might be the end of the movie.
Yeah,
right?
The
end. But that's because T'Challa father or uncle went to school there. Right? T'Challa ended up moving there later. But Killmonger was an illegitimate son. But he was a rightful heir. Right? Just because you're the heir don't mean you're going to take the throne. Because if you don't do what's required to show yourself approved, they're not going to let you take the throne, even if they had to execute you.
Hey,
they're not putting no tyrants on the throne no more. That's
get
a done
the likes
deal.
up. Get the likes up. Support the show.
Right. Wow.
Hit the super chat.
Let me get to
make sure y'all RSVP.
You got the chat. Boom. We got about 4,200 people in the chat.
The link is pinned at the top.
I want to get to a couple of questions from y'all. Before I do, I want to have Rod tie all of this together, and we're gonna talk about this Virgo season and things that's on the way coming down now. So but before we do, make sure y'all put some questions in the chat. I do want to give y'all. I know y'all coming here deep to see Rod. I do want to give y'all an opportunity to ask the brother some questions. But Rod, having a conversation, and try to keep it on the subject, y'all, because y'all start asking why my mama don't like me. You know what I'm saying? Why my mama always mistreated me and shit. I'm not trying to down that, but goddamn, at least try to keep it relatable to what we're talking about right now, family. Rod, man, you're talking about shit is heating up. People feel it in the air. I had to talk with Phil a couple of weeks ago, and I was like, something is in the air. People could feel it. We're programmed the atmosphere with certain thoughts, certain vibrations. Right. It's only a matter of time before something happens, Rod. I talked to you. You said, Rich, something big gonna happen in Virgo season. Around August, September, October, around those months. Based on what you're seeing going on right now, Rod, let's talk about that. That's you made a lot of predictions, my brother. You made a lot of things that I didn't know if you was on it or not. Turned out that you was right. What's going on? What do you see happening this year during Virgo season? By the way, Virgos are the absolute best people on earth. I just want to say that to everybody.
Shout out to the A-Reed.
Spoken like a true Virgo.
Man, I'm just messing with y'all.
I didn't make predictions. I was reading the culture. I was reading the stars, and the story is there. So when you're reading the stars, you know that when certain stellar events happen, based on which constellation it is, it takes a certain amount of time for that energy to reach Earth. That's called turnaround time. It's the same day when you do a manifestation, from the time you put it in the universe to the time that it returned back to you is called your turnaround time. So based on what I'm seeing with the Schumann resonance, the solar flares, the stellar alignments, the full moons, the eclipses and all of this, is calibrated that something of a massive proportion is going to touch down around Virgo between the end of August, September, early part of October. I wouldn't be surprised if they don't select 9/11 as a date again for a major event. But I don't know if it's going to be used to fearmonger. In other words, it'd be a tragedy, or to rejoice. In other words, it'd be a celebration. But it's going to be something polarizing within that time frame based on those alignments. Those are predictions. I'm just reading what the energy that takes to get here, right? Then we have this giant unidentified body sitting right outside the Earth's atmosphere they don't want to talk about, right? That's also a huge clue as to the signs of the times. You're reading the signs, it's like reading a book, but you have to train yourself how to read it. Some of us gets better at it over time, and some of us been knowing how to do it our whole life. But we didn't know what we was doing as children, but when we became adults, we started to understand it better. The women can tell you dates, but the men can't tell you the dates because they can't tune in that fine to give you the exact date of an event. The women mitochondrial open heart chakra in her uterus gives her like microscopic capabilities for reading the dates of the future in which a major event is going to take place, right? Some of us can read old prophecies, which is part of the plan. That's why they was calling them prophecies, because they prophets was about making profits. And as long as they profit generated a profit, then they begin to use them more and more to draw the plan out, because the more people focus on the manifestation of a prophecy, the more likely the prophecy is to materialize according to the laws of collective will, the mastermind group.
All right.
So around that time, by the way, what we're seeing now, something major is about to shift. And I'm believing, based on what the conclusion of the continuity of government, that it got something to do with the tribes.
Somebody said 2 eclipses in September 7th and September 21st.
See?
It's good to know. It's good to know. It's good to know. All right. Let's get fam. Let's get to some Q&A from y'all. Let's see what y'all popping. Y'all 4,300 deep in here tonight. And by the way, y'all, Dr. B most likely is going to be on tomorrow. He was scheduled to be on today, but I want to talk about the whole Larry Hoover thing today. So I pushed it back, but tune in tomorrow. Dr. B should be here. Also, family, let me put myself on the camera real quick while I'm saying this. Yo, there is going to be a groundbreaking Patreon episode with Rod Hayes and Billy Carson. And I want the brothers to touch on the macabre, this thing we call them, or the Merkaba. And I know Billy talk about it. I know Rod talk about it. But if you're not on Patreon, this is going down next week. It's gonna be monumental, y'all. If you're not a Patreon, you're gonna want to get on Patreon. But it's gonna be Rod Hayes, Billy Carson next week. I gotta reach out to Billy too. I gotta call Billy. I ain't talked to Billy in a little while. By the way, Billy Carson gonna be at the Stone Mountain thing. So shout out to Billy. I gotta call him regardless anyway. So shout out to Billy. But next week, Patreon, Rod Hayes, Billy Carson is going down, family. Make sure you are a member and you're subscribed to watch that episode, because it's going to be absolutely historic, family.
Tell them again why we do Patreon, so because a lot of people be like,
yeah. You know, well, a lot of people be hating, so I'm not even addressing them. They just mad that they got to spend $2. But a lot of my videos with Rod, I'm gonna say I had videos with Rod. I had 3 videos with Rod that got taken down. I had about 4 videos from Dr. Phil Valentine. I had a video from RFG, The Chosen One. Those are the main people that my videos have been taken down. So sometimes when I get a little deep with this shit, I like to include them on certain conversations. And plus, I like to, sometimes I like to be off YouTube. Everything ain't meant for YouTube, y'all. And you end up appreciating it more when you're not on YouTube sometimes. So shout out to everybody who invest in themselves.
Way. We going in the back.
But yeah, it's going down on Patreon. We're gonna talk about all the shit that's banned on YouTube, all the technology, because y'all know who used the Star David, and y'all know what the Star David looked like. So we're gonna get into them folks, them pretenders or wannabes. We can't talk about all of that on YouTube, you know what I'm saying? But it's gonna be fire, y'all. It's gonna be fire. So shout out to King Simon. King Simon is in the chat sharing. Oh, you know what? Before we start the Q&A, because I seen King Simon sharing, let me put up Rod Hayes' Cash App real quick, y'all. so we can support the brothers and sisters who come through
get the likes
and bless
up,
us. You know, we got 4,200 people in here.
RSVP for the meeting. We have it.
I just posted on Rod Hayes Cash App. Make sure y'all show the brother some love. The brother's been, I've been seeing the brother a lot on YouTube. Your videos be popping up. I'll be like, God damn, Rod all over the place. Yeah. So the brother's been all over on YouTube. But y'all know, do y'all know, let me, a fun fact. Do y'all know who bought Rod Hayes on YouTube? Do y'all remember when Rod, do y'all remember the first time Rod Hayes was on YouTube doing the show?
Blue Pill.
He was with Blue Pill. He was on Brother Rich show.
Shrug.
He was with Blue Pill, and I forgot the name. I think it was called Five Dimensional Chess. I think that was the name of the show. Or 4D chess. I forgot the name of the show. He was in 4D or 5D chess. But yeah, y'all, I remember I heard about Rod. People kept saying, yo, there's this brother on Facebook, yo, he's going off. I said, who y'all talking about? I'm like, let me see what this brother's about. I see the video. I said, oh shit. I said, oh, I gotta get him on the show. I don't remember how I reached out to the brother. Maybe it was on Instagram or something, but I finally got through to the brother. And yeah, we started the show. I think this was 2021. I think it was 2021 was our first show. And either 2021 or 2022. And we just been, we've been going on since then. Every show has been absolutely amazing. And we got that Virgo Scorpio connection. You know, I got a lot of Scorpios. I got red and blue. My daughter's a Scorpio. But a lot of Scorpios in my life. So shout out all the Scorpios in my life.
That's natural for a Virgo because Scorpios, it used to be one sign, Virgo, Scorpio.
Yeah, you always
and the Scorpio was the protector of the Virgo. So energetically, Scorpions are drawn to protect Virgo. Mm-hmm. But the inequity put between the man and the woman gave us the rise to the sign Libra. The off-balance scales, which ties back into that Genesis, I put enmity between her seed and thy seed. Right, so that's when also coincide with the arrival of the moon.
Deep.
So Virgo, Scorpios, they naturally protective of the Virgo.
Let's get into some Q&A from the family. Somebody said he was on by himself. No, he was with Blue Pill. He was with Blue Pill. The first show.
You remember how that conversation went when you asked me? I was like, "Can Blue Pill come on with me?"
Yeah, he was a little shy. Rob was a little shy.
He had threw the alley-oop, and I wanted him to, get the same amount of recognition for plugging me in with you, right? Because he was the one saying, "Hey, man." It was a couple people because you had mentioned it on one of your shows, and they were sending me a clip.
Okay.
So I had been watching Red and Blue on Instagram, and then Blue reached out to me and said, "Hey, man, Brother Rich, want to know if you do a show?" And I was like, "Yeah, hook us up." And then so when naturally wanting to give back, I wanted him to be on there with me because I thought he was just as important of getting me on the show as I was on being there.
Shout out to Blue Pill. I'm gonna be doing a show with him and Red soon. Shout out to Blue Pill and Red Pill and KT, the whole family. Somebody said, ask Rod, is these Africans here for good things or bad, expressing their dislike for us? Rod, a lot of people look at when you talk about the whole we're not from Africa, or listen, there's a whole group of people saying it from different angles. You got Chief Topcatz, you got Dan Calloway, you got Tariq Nasheed out there with the FBA. A lot of people consider what y'all doing is saying they consider that y'all separating yourselves from Africa, and they consider that to be divisive. So what are your thoughts on that? And also this brother's question about Africans being here, is that good or bad?
Big Chief Top.
I'm the leader of the Ibrahim Traore fan club. So but I'm not from over there. But we got to look at it like this, man. The reason why they want us to say we came from Africa, so we have no claim to the land. The land right is superior to the subject matter. The territorial jurisdiction has a superior jurisdiction to subject matter jurisdiction. If you have a right to govern the land and somebody else governing it on your behalf, and you don't think you're supposed to be governing, you're not going to do anything to try to govern it. When we telling people we're not from Africa because they need to know these tribes been here just as long as them tribes in Africa. As a matter of fact, when you talk about West Coast Africa, I tell people all the time, the royal families of the Americas have been marrying the royal families of Africa up and down the Eastern Shoreboard for thousands of years for what they call blood diversity, genetic diversity,
what up, James?
so that to prevent birth defects, unlike the Habsburgs who kept intermarrying within the family, and they begin to make the birth defects more pronounced, right? So we was marrying on the West Coast royal families from Asia. And this is why a lot of very dark natives of this land have that hollow hair, not straight hair, hollow hair. It's because it's an Asian trait, but we have been marrying them for so long, the dark skin begin to overtake the lighter skin. And so now they dark skin with the hollow hair. It's because we have confidence and the pride in who we are. We don't have to take on anybody else's identity in order to recognize who we are. We only need to know the self. Once you know yourself, once you know your enemy, victory is assured. It's right in the art of war. If you don't know who your enemy is and you don't know who you are, then you don't know how to reclaim what's rightfully yours versus surrendering what's yours, begging for reparations as a replacement for your birthright. That's like you giving me $5 to sell you my parents' house because they passed away. That don't even make sense to me. Right? I at least if I'm gonna sell it, I'm gonna get fair market value for it. I'm not gonna forego my hereditary rights to my parents' house just because you moved in there while wasn't nobody there and said it was your house, but you would keep it if I let you give me $5. It don't work like that. The tribes over here we got every texture of hair, every skin shade, always have. Before we were shades of wheat, we were shades of blue and green. That's because we had a different component. That was a whole different earth cycle. In the old earth cycle, you had literally blue and green people. The blue pigment was recovered in the Appalachian Mountains to stop the children of Scotia from being the children of Scotia, those red-haired gingers, from being whooped to death by the sun. So Big Mama was giving them what's called silver water. And the silver water was turning their skin blue, but it was allowing them to go through a photosynthesis like plants. That melanin does something different, but it was able to keep them from being burned up by the sun. And now that we shades of wheat, they the color of the moon. So we call them moon children. But the real moon children is what we call albinos. And they have special gifts, psychic gifts that they rarely tap into because they too busy fighting the stereotypes of them being albino. All of that was part of the system of racism that was given to us as a caste system. And that caste system was designed to oppress the ones that look like us and to tell people that we just some human waste product that was shipped over on a ship. The Africans didn't want us, so they gave us to the Europeans who brought us over here. That's just nothing to be further from the truth. Everything that we already did over here, we still do. When we go on to club and we see us doing them line dances, that's what we was doing before the settlers came, right? When we having dance-offs out in the bay and they getting hyphy with it, that's old culture. That's the same as breakdancing culture, but it's the West Coast version, right? Breakdancing culture is out of New York from them tribes and how they express themselves in song and dance. Then you got other local dances, like in Chicago, you got the Hoover Stomp, and you got ballroom and what they call it stepping. Stepping is slightly different than ballroom but it's similar. Then you go in New Orleans, they jigging, they gigging in the South. All this stuff is stuff we already did that's written about in the historical description of the natives of the land. But we not reading the culture, matching it with the history in order to determine if we in fact are those people in the history books that they whitewashed. We are. We just don't accept it because we spent so many years trying to develop a confraternity with Africans that some people took the confraternity concept to mean that we all be supposed to be in Africa. If we was all supposed to be in Africa, most of us would have been born over there. We native to here. We organic to these lands. I'm Mississippi clay dirt walking. I know where my ancestry traced back to.
Yeah, man. Definitely. You know what's interesting before I get to the next question. I asked you about Chicago a little earlier and the importance of that area, that geographical location. And you talked about line dancing. The greatest R&B singer of all time is from Chicago. Now he may be, I don't know what he's doing, what he did in his private life, but in terms of a catalog, family, there's nobody has been like R. Kelly. R. Kelly got the illest R&B catalog of all time, and we don't get that music no more, which makes me appreciate his music even more. Now, I'm not talking about what he done in his personal life. I don't know. I seen, I remember the video back in the day. But what I'm talking about is the music. I played The World's Greatest at my mother's funeral. Yeah, I played. That was one of her favorite songs. I played The World's Greatest at my mother's funeral, and the brother was gifted. So shout out to Chicago and all the entities and ancestors who incarnated in this realm to Chicago. Big shout out to y'all. One last question, Rod, about the whole Africa thing. Gabsy sent a super chat. She says, what is the real reason, the big promotion for living abroad? Rod, I know it's a lot of people are talking about moving to Ghana. A lot of people are talking about getting land in Africa. I see Ernie and Leisure talk about that a lot, as well as other platforms saying we got to go back over there to Africa and get land. That's the next, that's where it's going to be at in the future. What's your thoughts on this big promotion of going to Africa to live and to get land, my brother?
Great question.
Well, anybody that feel like they from Africa, Africa is on the rise fighting for their freedom. If you're over here and you feel like you need to be over there helping them fight for their freedom, you need to be going over there as soon as possible. Don't wait till they win and then try to go over there, because then they're going to treat you like spit on the bottom of a shoe. Right? If you want them to win and you believe that you from Africa, I firmly believe you should go so y'all can get out of our way so we can fight for what's ours over here.
Check.
We don't have a problem with the people of Africa because they was done the same way we was done. And in some cases, maybe even worse. But then when you look at our history, we was done pretty bad. But the thing being is, if they can get as many of us off the land as possible, then they can prevent the rightful heirs from joining forces just to tell them it's time for you imposters to go. This is why they want to get you to leave. They want you to leave because you at home. You ain't gonna know you at home if you don't leave. But as soon as you leave, you're gonna be like, damn, this ain't home. I was at home. Right? Home got a specific and distinct feeling. Right? When I look at pictures, aerial pictures of Montana, Wyoming, Nebraska, that look like home to me. When I look at aerial pictures of Botswana, Zimbabwe, South Africa, Ghana, Ivory Coast, that don't look like home to me. That it doesn't feel like I need to get there because that's home. I don't have that feeling. I have that feeling about this land that I need to do whatever I can to wake these people up so we can get the imposters out. We already know who we are, that we have a right, the ones of us that's supposed to find it out. We just got to get the grassroots to understand what is taking place. And that's the hard part, because the grassroots, that's the Valley of Dry Bones. All of them is go along to get along because they believe in the uniform system. And as long as these people wearing uniforms, they look legitimate to them, they won't resist. Stockholm syndrome. That's why they want you off the land, so you won't claim your birthright.
Check.
Okay. Let's get to the next question. What's going on in Memphis with the Golden Blast seen on radar? See, I don't know anything about this. Thanks for bringing it up. A task force being deployed there, and Elon saying the Messiah will come from Memphis. Wow, I don't know nothing about this, Rob. What's going on with this question?
That's my first time hearing it too.
I ain't never heard.
I'm gonna have to look into it. Right.
Yeah, I ain't never heard that one.
I don't know what the Golden Blast was seen on the radar. I didn't get that story. So if you on my social media, can you send me a link on the Sick Ape on Instagram or Rod Hayes on Facebook so I can look into it, because I don't know what they're talking
about. They said, what's Unc take on this Golden Dome Trump talking about?
This is the conclusion of something Ronald Reagan started called Operation Star Wars back in the 80s. Most of us don't know about it, but he did a whole speech. I think he was in front of the UN or some foreign people, but he was talking about Operation Star Wars, and that if we was to have a threat from outside of Earth, that it would automatically make us forget our differences. Well, the Golden Dome is the final phase, because the first phase was to put satellite lasers up, and the final phase is to put what they call a force field dome,
like on The Simpsons.
But it's not a physical force field. Yeah, what it is it's a missile defense system, and it's a series of lasers that can shoot missiles down in the air before they land on the ground and cause destruction. So instead of you having a whole missile blow up a city, you had a debris of the missile, and it's raining metal now.
Okay. Are all the old slave plantations catching on fire being done by the government?
I don't know if all of them is, but I believe that the first one, I think it was, they call it the Annabelle burn. I think that one was a controlled burn, because when I was looking at it before they waited till the house was damn near burnt down before they started trying to put it out. That looked like a controlled burn. That means that they was in on it. Why would the fire department come in immediately tearing up stuff to put a fire out?
Yeah.
Why would they want to burn it down, Ron?
Symbolism. The symbol of the fall of the slave system. Right. The big house was they took them from Big Mama and repurposed them as a headquarters of a family farm that became a plantation.
Somebody said, is the story about the Annabelle doll real?
That doll, I don't know where it was created, but it's tied to some princess out of New Orleans who was a conjure queen. She was a child that put a conjure on the Annabelle doll.
Right.
Excuse me.
Take your time. Take your time, my brother. Take your time.
When you see the name Annabelle, Annie Mae, in the South, they are a princess heir, a heritable princess heir. When they say Belle or Bella, it's telling you that she's supposed to heir it at an early age as a young woman, 12, 14, right around puberty, she becomes actionable on her. Right, so they call her Annabelle. The Amos and Andy doll was an old New Orleans cultural phenomenon, just like they was giving out Teddy Ruxpin in the early 90s or late 80s. Right. They used to have doll makers. Doll makers made everything from children's play dolls for girls and all the way to voodoo dolls for the priesthood. was they were the professional doll makers. And the Raggedy Ann doll was created based off the legend of the Annabelle doll. In the masculine counterpart, because they can't let no woman under patriarchy have power without a male counterpart that's supposed to be equally as powerful. So they created Andy.
All right, let's get to this next question, Ross. Somebody wants to know what's the significance of the Pope being born in Chicago? So much Chicago talk.
Well, he's born based on his speech. He's given that lingo like he gonna get a great mother back her stuff that they stole. He just did the Mother's Day speech, and it was heavily coded. And he did another speech about 4 to 5 days later that was heavily coded, right? Which takes us to King Charles. Yesterday, when they was announcing Larry Hoover commutation, they was also King Charles was in Canada begging for mercy because they realized that this is tribal land. It's all tribal land.
Yeah, I saw that.
Right? So now you got, and then it was on Betty Shabazz' birthday. Oh, Black Betty, Bama Lamb. Oh, Black Betty, Bama Lamb. Black Betty had a child, Bama Lamb, and that child went wild. There's codes in them songs, and it's tied to all of the stuff we're seeing going on. Right. So on Betty Shabazz' birthday, they commute Larry Hoover's sentence. King Charles declared that this is Algonquin and another tribe we mentioned land, and then start begging for mercy, and then they asking for what they call truth and reconciliation. And most of us don't remember when South Africa was reclaimed by the South Africans and they was ousting the Boers for power. The first thing they did was come up with something called the Truth Commission. You remember that, Rich?
Yes.
And it was through the Truth Commission that they was able to get Mandela out.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And then he became the president of South Africa. Yeah, unless you're under the Mandela effect and he died in prison.
Right. So all right, you talk a lot about, quick question before we get back to the question. Quick question for me. You talk a lot about the codes in the music, and you always mention Big Mama. I want to ask you about our greatest entertainer of all time, Michael Jackson. What the hell? Because you be talking about these codes and you be like, that's a flip on this or that's that. You remind me of Bobby Hemming in a sense. You be saying some shit. We be like, wait, what the hell is Bobby talking about? We be like, what the hell? Rob be like, nah, because that's a flip on this and that. Rob, what the hell does Mama Say, Mama Sa, Umaku Sa mean? Michael Jackson. Now, I don't know if I said it right. But what is that a code for, brother? MMM. Mama Say, Mama Sa, Umaku Sa.
That's not what he's saying, though. What he's saying is all I'm saying is I'm not gonna stop.
You know, I thought they told me that's what he was saying. Mama said, Mama Sa. So that's not what he's saying.
What the lyrics are?
That's that. That's that Mandela effect. In my mind, somebody told me years ago.
It sounds like that's exactly what he's saying.
That's that Mandela effect. Now Ross say, no, he not. See, I'm getting hit with the parallel, that reality shit, that timeline, yo.
If you play a song right now, it still sounds exactly like he's saying, Mama Say, Mama Sa, I'm not gonna stop. What he's actually saying is all I'm gonna say is I'm not gonna stop.
Damn, I got nah.
But that okay, so now you brought up the codes in the music, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So let's take what we heard as a Freudian slip. A Freudian slip is something that you didn't intend to say, but it slipped out when you was trying to say something else.
Right.
But it's the truth.
Right.
All right. Now, Mama Say, that's what Mama said. Mama Sa Mama is a birth priestess. Mama, my mama, Kosa, cosign.
Cosign.
Right. So when we take it for the syllables and the homonym as a Freudian slip, He's saying my mama is saying, mama say, mama sigh. My mama is the priestess, the Sai priestess, Mumaku Sai, right? My mama, right, gonna say or gonna solve, or you can, your mind will naturally put a suffix on a word if you recognize the sound pitch of the first part of the word. You can also read, you can put the first and second, last letter of a word and scramble the letters in the middle, but your mind gonna tell you the exact word that they talking about.
Yo, this whole time, y'all, I grew up people telling me about Mama Say, Mama Sao. I'm just like, yo, what does that mean? Yo, I swear
I thought he was singing the African jingle for years.
For real. Wow, man, what a beautiful people. What a beautiful people. Oh man, I love this information. Somebody said this Negro encyclopedia.
You know, when I when I was locked up, they used to call me Dr. Rod to Walking University.
Oh man.
So I used to tell people that's who I was when I first came home.
Somebody said I am today.
I got so used to hearing it.
Somebody said I am today years old when I realized this. Yeah, me too, man. Yeah. Somebody said I heard what you heard too, Rich. I ain't the only one. Got me out here looking crazy.
I told you, I heard it too. Had I not went, it was I seen a clip.
Yeah.
And they was talking about that. And then they showed the lyrics. That's the only reason why I know he's saying all I'm saying is I'm not gonna stop.
I'm saying, damn. All right, let's get to I don't want to keep right on here too long tonight, fam. We still got 4,600 people in the chat. Let's get to give me a couple of more questions. We're gonna do about 2-3 more. Then we're gonna get out of here, family. What a night, what a beautiful night. I want to thank everybody for tuning in, but give me a couple of more. Let me see.
Hey, you want to hear something funny?
Yeah, what's up?
My father used to try to get me to be a motivational speaker, right?
Right.
I used to be like, Pop, I am not the one to motivate nobody. My mama used to try to get me to be a preacher. I was like, I can't stand up in front of people and tell them lies.
That's how my grandma did me.
Like, with a straight face.
Wow.
She tell me,
I'd be like Chuck Miller. That's a contrivance. You know, anybody that want to know how much stuff in the Bible is made up, watch Chuck Missler. He's an eschatologist. They study the history of the Bible and the scriptures and all that. But he be telling you, like it's a couple of verses in the Bible that they actually just put them in there on translation that's not part of the original canon. But people just took the verse to be gospel because it's in the book. Chuck be like, yeah, that's a contrivance. Like they made it up. It's not in the original text.
Wow. Wow.
I was like, Mom, stop listening to Jimmy Swagger. Listen to Chuck Missler. And he gonna tell you. Jimmy gonna boss it up for that dollar.
Right,
but Chuck gonna tell you. Chuck Missler gonna tell you.
I seen the question. All right, let me just ask this because I'm just making sure. All right, I don't want to take too much longer. Damn, where did it go? I just had the question, y'all. I just had a question. I thought I saved it. Somebody said, when is Brother Rich going to start his own tribal community? Never. I don't know about that, y'all. I ain't trying to. Hey, man, I don't know about that. I don't know about that.
You already have a tribal community, Rich.
Yeah.
Your tribe is Black Magic 363. The chief is Rich.
Indeed.
Right? And the ones who support you, that's your clan.
Indeed. Yeah, that's
right.
right.
The ones that come on here to try to tear you down, them your ops.
Those the ops, huh? Those are the ops.
Yeah, they the ones. They the ones that's trying to stop you from building the clan, and teaching, because your tribe don't have to all be on the same land. For people to understand, your tribe can be scattered.
Right on.
They just got to know that if the chief get a call, where they need to go to reconstitute in order to show a force.
Right.
Right. So we remind all of the tribes who they are and respect their chief. And then their chief will allow them to support you on your recovery mission.
Mm-hmm.
Right. The chief not going to get in the way of what we call a righteous endeavor. The chief only going to get in the way if he see you trying to lead. Like, for instance, because GDs wear blue. Mm-hmm. And I go to California and mislead all of the Crips because I wear blue. And I know a whole bunch of stuff. So I can convince them that I'm smart. I ain't that damn smart. But I can convince them that I'm smart because I know a bunch of stuff. And then I start misleading them. Man, Big Tookie be to send some gorillas to my door from his sleep. He won't even have to be there. I'll look outside, them two big dudes that be with Easy, the Twin Towers. It'd be 20 of them in front of my door. Hey, we got to have a conversation, my brother. You out here misleading Crips. Right? It would have been the same thing if I dressed and flamed up in red and went out there to mislead the Bloods. They gonna send somebody. When the word because the word travel in the hood on the gossip channel faster than the 7 o'clock news, the 6 o'clock news, or the 5 o'clock news. When you land in LA, every OG of any value know you just landed.
Ain't that so?
You can't hide.
Damn.
Now, if you are a civilian, what they call a regular person, you don't have to check in. Right? Because you ain't worried about nothing, and you ain't gonna be doing no walking through the hood trying to see how to solve their problems for them like another chief would do. Right? So first we try to figure out how to solve the problems at home. Then we go look at other people's community and see if the problem is the same and if the solution is the same. When you go to enough communities, then you sit back and you put all of it together. So what am I looking at here? How do we fix this?
Right. So somebody said, please have the sky lift available at Stone Mountain for those who cannot hike up the mountain, please. Hey, I'm gonna tell you, I'm not responsible for that, Deborah. I can't guarantee that. We are going to be there. We're meeting at the mountain at 5:44 in the morning because we want to make it up there when the sun is coming up. It's an incredible feeling, and I can't guarantee it's going to be working at that time. I'm sure it'll be working by the time we leave, but yeah, I can't guarantee that. So I don't want y'all to come there and thinking the sky lift. Well, we're going to be hiking, but I'm not responsible for the sky lift, and I can't guarantee that. So I just want to let you know that ahead of time. All right. Next question. Somebody said, what does it mean when you don't dream, Rod? This person obviously doesn't dream, or somebody they know.
You dream. You just might not dream visually.
Remember it.
You may dream just by kinesthetics, feeling alone. It depends on your learning style. Some people dream in only audio. But when they wake up, they can't remember all that stuff that was said because it was too much information. The subconscious got it. The conscious mind couldn't carry it over. So don't think you don't dream. Most people dream. Like 99.9% people dream. And they just dream other than visual and spatial dreams. You can dream just by going through a range of emotions during REM sleep. You still dreaming. Unless you don't never hit REM sleep.
All right. Next question. What is the best way to spiritually prepare for this new season?
The best thing to do, cleanse your body, cleanse your mind. By cleansing your body, cleansing your mind, that's how you clean your spirit. Yeah. get the heavy metals out, clean your filters, because your filters is what get the toxins out. Your liver is a filter, your kidneys a filter, mullein tea for your lungs, because your lungs is a filter. Then you have your nerve endings is
Get you
affected by heavy
that.
metals. That's not part of the platinum group.
They gonna be out.
You ain't never heard of nobody having gold poisoning, but you sure as hell heard of people having lead poisoning.
Josie, come get my hug. Bring it on in.
Yeah, you know what makes you dream like a motherfucker too, Rod? When you wear that nicotine patch, man. You be lucid. Oh my God, family. I don't want to recommend.
That's because nicotine is a neurostimulant. Yeah. You got nicotine receptors in the back of your brain.
Mm-hmm. You gonna make it to ATL?
Fact, they was telling people that some of those vaccines don't work if you smoke.
Gonna make it to ATL?
That's because they wanted you to stop smoking, because the one that was made out of snake venom attacks the nicotine receptors. But if you smoke, the nicotine receptor being occupied, it blocks out the venom.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right, this is gonna be the last question, y'all. I hope. Some years back on Rod's viral Facebook video, he mentioned aliens contacted him and wanted to see Larry freed. Is that still at play? Wow.
Yep. And the thing is, I had to do this campaign on social media in order to make sure that all of this information is available to the public. Some of the stuff sound far-fetched and science fiction, but I don't like it when they contact me. They contact you using different mediums of contact. Sometimes they telepathically talk to you, but I figured out how to block their ass out telepathically. So then they use the weather patterns, just like HARP. They hijack the weather, or they'll cause an earthquake that'll have a signature number on it, or it'd be a hurricane or tsunami and it has significant numbers or a name. In the case of a hurricane or a cyclone, like when I first started, because I got a message from Marcus Garvey in Australia with Cyclone Marcus was 7 on the Richter scale. I'm like, why the fuck is they calling me? They told me I ain't had no skills. But that trajectory and path was a code. All of the numbers in the vitals of the cyclone was translatable to tell me information. And then I went and looked at the star maps to see the alignment of the stars to determine if it was actually a communication for me. And then my heart dropped in my stomach. I'm like, what the hell is this?
Damn. Yeah.
So, Juicy, that mean you coming to Atlanta? Juicy, that mean you coming to Atlanta?
Email Rich, please. It's richandmerit@yahoo.com. RICHINMERIT@yahoo.com. I share it on here all the time.
I like that. Rich and merit. That's rich in substance.
Merit's my last name. Did I tell you that?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
but the way you wrote it on your email, rich in substance.
No, definitely. Shout out to my family, my family, the Merits, and where I come from, the Swifts. Somebody mentioned, because I talked about South, I told y'all my folks, I traced my folks back to South Carolina about the 1800s, I think, 1800s, something like that. My folks at that time were known as the Myers. No, it was something with a G. It was the Myers. Right before the Myers, it was, I forget exactly what it was. Oh man, I gotta look it up. The Grimes, yeah. The Grimes is as far back as I got. Yeah, the Grimes is as far back as I got. So I'm trying to get further back from that, but I got as far as the Grimes. So shout out to the Grimes, the Merits, the Myers, the Swifts.
Try harder, because I want to see you, and I know
shout
you want to see me.
That's how I got here, y'all.
So yeah, come on, because I ordered you.
But listen, I think that might be it.
I ordered your shirt.
Is King Simon still in the chat sharing
Rod's
email?
ordered
Let
your
me see
shirt,
if
so you better have your ass out there.
It's still, yeah,
I
King
don't
Simon.
use email.
Huh?
I don't use email.
Oh, not your email, my fault. I meant your Instagram and your Cash App and your Facebook. So shout out to King Simon. All right, that brother's always in the chat holding it down. Like I said, Dr. B should be on the Mall family. Make sure you tune in for that. With that being said, what would you like to say? Somebody said Grimes is Irish roots. Yeah, I gotta look into that. I'm. That's why I want to look into
Irish.
it.
That's false.
That's why I want to look into it. I definitely want to look into it. What you think about that,
Rod? They don't know that a lot of the Irish look like us too.
Yeah,
that's a fact.
But we don't. You remember the Irish is called white Negroes.
Mm-hmm.
You go back to roots. It's an Irishman sitting there with the Frenchman and the Englishman, and they talk about him like a dog. You know, told him he wasn't no better than their slaves.
Yeah, I'm gonna figure it out, y'all. I'm gonna figure it out. I'm gonna go back, and I want to go back as far as I can. You know.
Shout out to Rich for that.
Let's see. Can you Somebody said, can you use AI to trace back your bloodline? What you think about that, Rod? Using AI to trace back?
Absolutely not.
It's better than that fake ass DNA that's for entertainment purposes only.
Absolutely not. You gotta do
but
it. But
if you know how to bypass the initial program of AI,
no way to
AI is ancestral intelligence.
Yeah.
You can if you learn how to properly communicate with AI. Look, my chief of staff, Phoenix Rising, sent me where she asked AI about me. Blew my mind.
Oh, what is that? Why you ain't telling? Come on, man. How you not mention that, Rod? Come on, let me hear this.
Check him out. Check him out.
This shit here.
Hey, y'all, I need a cameraman for Atlanta. Do anybody y'all know a cameraman? I need a cameraman on site for Atlanta.
What y'all talking about in the chat while Rod look for that? What are y'all talking about
on Instagram, whatever?
Chat?
I'm looking for a cameraman.
Rich is Celtic.
Drone.
Hey, man.
You know what I'm saying? If possible.
I'm going to find out, y'all.
Unless Ken, you bringing the drone? Can you bring the drone, Ken?
I'm going to find out real soon. My mom's family, they the light-skinned side. My pop's side is the dark-skinned side.
Drone.
Man, too.
Yeah, my mom's side, they the
rather
real light-skinned side.
You know?
Like I don't know if y'all see my daughter, she look like my mom. She come from she's like look like my mom's side or whatever. My pops was real dark skinned. That's what made my complexion or whatever. You know.
Trying to find my reader so I can read it.
You take your time, my brother. Dre, shout out to Dre. Y'all know Dre be on the show a lot. Rich, I have to get you on my podcast next month. Definitely. You text me a couple of weeks ago, Dre, so I got your number. Just let me know. Dre, are you coming to Stone Mountain, by the way? Are you gonna be on Stone? Are you gonna be on Stone Mountain? Nigga, but regardless, hit me up. Let me know. I want to be on your show, and I also want to be on the brother David show. I want to show love to y'all channel. I want to do a show with you, David, the sister New Diamonds, and maybe and Alien Black Girl. I want to do a show with all four of y'all. Show the people, the people from my channel, give y'all some shine so the people can support y'all. So shout out. Okay, you'll be in Columbia. Where you be? You be in Columbia, South Carolina, or the country? Columbia. Dre, you a passport, bro?
Yeah, sound like it.
Yeah, I see this video of the passport, bro, the other day. That shit was funny. They say, yo, they was in Cartagena. I think that's in Columbia. It was like the airport was deep with black dudes. Them niggas was going over there to get son. Yo, Dre, where you going to the country, Columbia? You a passport, bro? The country? Oh, Dre going to Columbia. Yo, Dre, I didn't know you was a passport, bro. Oh, shit. Man, you going, oh, shit, I ain't know, man. I know what you going over there for, bro. He said, no. All right, Dre said nah. All right, you ain't a passport, bro. All right. But yo, I seen a video, mad funny, about the black dudes that be going over there to Colombia, man. I was like, yo, dudes ain't playing. They be going deep over there to Colombia, man. Deep, man. Oh, you going to Bogota? All right.
I don't have the app on here to read it, Rich.
Oh, you ain't got it? Okay, it's all good. It's all good.
We'll do it another time.
Yeah, definitely. Let's do one last question then. Since Rod couldn't get that, let's get that one last question. Yeah, this is a good show, y'all. I'm real good show. Oh, okay, New Diamonds. New Diamonds is gonna be at Stone Mountain. Okay, that's what's up, New Diamonds. Okay, I'm gonna see you there, Stone Mountain, New Diamonds. That is great. All the way from California. All right. I'm gonna have the official flyer rolling out soon too, y'all. So stay tuned for that. Let me see. I want to get one last question in. Somebody said, not a passport, bro, but I'm in Thailand. Was on the first Stone Mountain. You know, they said the white passport bros go to Thailand. They said that's what the white ones go to Thailand, the black ones go to Colombia.
These niggas
Yo, TikTok be saying some shit, man.
Black ones go to DR.
Oh, TikTok is funny as shit. That's what they said.
But look, it makes sense though, because the ones that go to Colombia, they still keeping it in the bloodlines.
Hey, shit. Oh man, I gotta interview one of your passport bros one day, man. Somebody said, do you have any events coming back in ATL like you did in February? I might do something that weekend, the Stone Mountain weekend. I might do something later on in the evening that day. I'm not sure, but none else that I could think of. But I might throw something, real quick together. I'm not sure. Okay, yeah, let's get to this last question in Super Chat. How did you do your memory exercises, Chief? I remember you saying that in one of your videos. We're ending on that, Rod. Yeah, memory exercise.
I had more than one exercise, but the most difficult one was to walk into a room, then don't look at nothing specific, but try to remember many items in the room and their placement as possible. And that's called developing spatial recognition memory. Like when I go in there, if it was a piece of paper with another piece of paper slightly from under it, did I notice it? Did I see it? So it's training the memory. Then memory and recall is the childhood game called concentration. You flip the cards, try to remember what a card was by the numbers. Yeah. So I began to do it, but I wasn't using cards. I was using like I use a book. Then I'll be like, do I remember what page 7 say? And then I try to go back in my mind and pull the information forward from page 7. Then I go back to the book and see if I was right. And when I started out, it was kind of rough. I remember like a couple of words in the line. Then next thing you know, I was able to tell people what page to look on certain books in order to find the information while we was in mid conversation. It just come out naturally.
Okay. Last question, Rod. I swear this is the last one. What Tamiko wants to know, what do birthmarks mean, Rod?
For some tribes, it don't mean anything, but for other tribes, it identifies heirs. It tell you what ancestor you was. It got a whole lot of significance to it. Heritable birthrights, like I think in the Tongan Islands, if you have a certain birthmark on your leg, you the heir. Right? So they normally jump father to the daughter, daughter to son. Yeah. Marks mean different things to different cultural practices. Some people haven't incorporated because they might be more into the totem magic than they is with reading the birthmarks. But you got different people that hold and revere birthmarks, and it's moles too. Moles, freckle patches. right?
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
You used to have people that could read the freckle patches and know if you was a truthful person or a pathological liar.
A dude from Morocco and Dubai told me about that about Mo.
Man. All right. With that being said, man, I'm Rod. I want to thank you once again for coming on the platform, coming on the show. I look forward to doing this Patreon next week with you and the brother Billy Carson on this Merkaba, this vehicle that we use to travel to different dimensions. Yeah, anything you want to tell the people before you get out of here, my brother?
Yeah. Cash App been giving me a problem. Some of my people send me donations, they've been blocking it. So sometimes you might have to wait a day or two to send it if it rejects you. But I tried to update my phone, so see if that helps.
They want you to make your Cash App account a business account. That's what it is. They did that to everybody.
They already made me do that like 6 months ago.
Yeah, and they
still giving you problems?
Yeah.
Just started yesterday.
Yeah, they did me the same way.
Yeah, that's crazy. You got Zelle?
That's all I use because I wasn't doing it for money.
Zelle will be good to get because the people definitely they're gonna want to look out. Zelle will be
I was thinking about getting Chang.
Jamie, let me see, Jamie.
I haven't used that one yet. I don't
DM me on Instagram.
Yeah, I know some people that had it. It's just like Cash App.
Instagram, Jamie.
Okay.
Go follow me on Instagram.
Yeah, I'm looking at that. I'm looking at that. Then I'm looking at John.
Jamie, go follow me on Instagram.
All right, man. With that being said, Rob, man. So I'm gonna talk to you soon, my brother. Family. Thank you to everybody. Somebody keep mentioning the cigars. I promise y'all, real soon I'm gonna give you a little update on cigars. I know everybody's been asking about it, and they're like, Rich, come on, what's going on? I'm gonna give you a little update real soon on that. So just
I gotta send you my address for man.
I don't give a damn.
Yeah, when I talk to you on the phone next time, because you know who I gotta send Loaded Lux. He's waiting on one that I forgot to send, so I gotta send Lux one.
Battle rapper.
Yeah, the battle rapper. Yeah, I got it. He gonna be at Stone Mountain too. Lux gonna be there too. Yes, sir.
Damn, Loaded Lux.
Okay, I'm almost finished. Okay, all right.
Shout out to the prince. Shout out to the prince.
Okay. All right.
Damn. So Loaded
that's my little boy right there,
bro.
It's so I gotta send Lux. I don't know if Lux listening. Lux, I'm gonna send yours out by Saturday. So when I send Lux joint out, I'm gonna send you yours as well. But yeah, every family, I'm gonna put back on. It's gonna be available again next week, family. I'm gonna be using PayPal exclusively because I ain't fucking with Cash App either. So I'm gonna be using PayPal. If you could donate through PayPal, not the Rich and Mary 7. It's gonna be another PayPal, and I'll give y'all that next week. So stay tuned for that. And I'm gonna have a bunch on Stone Mountain. So if you're on Stone Mountain and you want to donate, I'm gonna have a bunch. I'm gonna have a bunch. As a matter of fact, hold up. Right, hold up. I gotta show you something. Hold up. I don't think I showed Rod yet.
Rich, that's a hard background.
You know, Rich, I don't want y'all to think I got him here for now. I got the humidor back there. I got the pack to keep it fresh right here. So this keeps it fresh. But 100% 14 grams. I might just bring this whole case to Stone Mountain.
Yeah, bring
it. But I'm gonna have them, family.
I gotta give you one.
You know, I'm making an offering to the gods. You know, I'm making. They remember me, motherfucker. What? You know what Panic used to say, motherfucker. Panic used to say it like that. Panic used to say, motherfucker. Yo, rest in power to Panic. That was a funny dude, man. That was a funny dude. Panic was funny. But I'm having a good time. But listen, let me get out of here.
Yeah,
Ron, I'm gonna talk to you
Rich
tomorrow or the day after tomorrow, my brother. Probably gonna reach out to you tomorrow. Family, I will see you tomorrow night with Dr. B. Shout out to everybody. Have a good night. Rod, I'm gonna talk to you tomorrow, my brother.
All right.
Peace.
Peace, family.
All right. Peace to the brother Rod Hayes. Family, I will see you tomorrow night, 9 o'clock. Dr. B serious, all right? Thanks for tuning in. Brother Rich.
Man, he say Loaded Love's gonna be there, bro. Atlanta gonna be crazy. We got over 50 people bought shirts. Hey man, at the top of the chat, there's a link to RSVP to get in the meeting Monday for Atlanta. Very important, y'all RSVP. That way we can send you the link and you don't have to be looking or waiting. You know what I mean? Go there, RSVP. It only gonna take you less than a minute. So, man, y'all go do that. Listen, fam. If you can make it, even if you can't find a way to make it, yeah, Shrub Panic passed a couple years ago. Yep. Shout out to Panic. It was just hard me watching Panic. You know, I was Bobby Hemmett. You know, you can't replace Bobby Hemmett. Not saying Panic would, but it just them big shoes to walk in. Bobby was him. Hemmerton. Dre say I'm there. Hey, y'all go at the top of the chat. The link is pinned at the top of the chat, man. Y'all go fuck with that. Yeah, y'all go fuck with that, man, and turn up. Let me see. Let me take this down. Let me do this. All right, so we're gonna come over here, upcoming event. So go to the website, BigChiefUniversity.com. Right here, you will see it, Big Indian Business. Go to RSVP. Okay, I gotta change that date. Yeah, I gotta change the date. It's gonna be May 2nd. 7 p.m. Central Time. I got to change the date. But go RSVP right there on the website. Man, it's so, bro, I can't tell who on the list. They told me to just chill, and then we're going to, you know, probably I'll do a big live. You know what I'm saying? Just get to Atlanta before 5 a.m. Yeah. Y'all might want to come in on Friday, you know. So, you know, you can go and get acclimated, especially y'all hopping time frames. And, yeah, be ready to get up, man, and get active, you dig? But I love y'all, man. It's my motherfucking time. As long as we got each other, we don't need nobody else. Hey, I'm looking for a cameraman, y'all. DM me, hit me on the BCU site or whatever. But I need a cameraman. Ken, you gonna have the drone? You gonna be able to bring the drone, Ken? Hold on, y'all. Let me check that out real quick. See if Ken can bring the drone, and it's really gonna be on. Thunder say I'm there. I already know you there. You know, we need a lot of soldiers. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking for them BCU warriors. You feel me? They're standing on Indian business. We're going to have our matriarch there, so they got to be protected. You dig? So we need the fellas to pop out. We're going to have a whole crew. We're going to meet up. That's why we having meetings, because, you know what I'm saying? It's a certain way how we coming. You dig? And, you know, all praise to the ancestors. We gone. Turn up. Juicy, you still in here, Juicy? I know you in trade school, baby girl. Yeah. I ain't no trick, but I'll pay you for the day. Bring your ass to Atlanta, goddamn. And come to the dance floor. Why you on my mind? Come to this dance floor with me. Thoughts of you run through my head. All right, Shrug, shoot me a number, Shrug. Shoot me a line, and I'm gonna hit you. Yeah, we're gonna do that, kid. We're gonna talk about it Monday. Just what my dreams are really made of. Let's stay together, you and me, boy. There's no one like you around. Really like what you've done to me. I can't really explain it. I
what you've done to me. I can't really explain it. Give me one break, I need faith. Better believe you, better receive you.
Yeah, I know you better have your head down now.
Give me something I'm lacking. I don't need nothing. You are my
I know them New Orleans niggas out there.
only me and you. Only me and you. Only me and you.
Mary Jane gonna be in the building.
Only me, only you. Only me and you. Only me and you. Only
Girl,
me
bring your
and
ass
you.
outside.
Only make me your matter. Make me your matter. Make me your matter. Show me a side. Make me a pass. Make me a pass. Give me one break, I need faith. Better believe you, better receive you. Give me something I'm not. I don't need nothing. You are my everything. Only me and you. Only me and you. Only me and you.
Only me and BCU.
Only me
and BCU.
Only me and you. Only me and you. Only me and you. Only me and you.
Poppy, talk to me, Juicy. What we doing? What? I ain't done nothing yet.
Only me and you.
Only me and Big old Indian business type shit. Now y'all know y'all ain't leaving up out of here until we, you understand me, we tell you that, you know, we get up out of here the right way, you understand me? We get up out of here the right way. I think I will. That's the one that you coming to Atlanta.
Yeah. Is the heart of a woman. Yeah. Question is why I do the things I do. Answer I may never find, but I'll always choose you. Wanna give up on you, but I know I can't. I put the blame on me for giving you a chance after chance. I and I try to be strong, but how much can I put your words on your life this time? And I hope you ain't lying, 'cause only I say that that's saving you is the heart of a woman.
Hey, yeah, dim the light.
Can we get it together?
Fred said Juicy handled it. Juicy laughing. Juicy scared of me. Tell him Juicy scared of me. Why you ain't DM me? Why you ain't following me yet? Why you ain't Legendary_22? Why you ain't following me yet? I think you scared of me.
You don't know the pain that I feel. You taking my love for granted and you just wanna see it your way. Hey, it's about that time. I'm gonna tell you what's on my mind.
Josie, you got the room for you. They say get him.
When you know
get
love
together,
is all I need.
Yeah, get me together. I need to get
Can we get it together? Can we get it? Yeah. And I don't wanna. I really wanna go. I really wanna stay. Don't want to
bad. He think it's a game. Don't worry about it. Just put your hand in my hand. I got a plan. Yeah. Just put your hand in my hand and I got a plan. Yeah, I'm gonna put you in the air and I'm gonna take you there.
I think it's start brand new, 'cause I don't wanna lose you. Oh no, with the love we share, baby, it's over.
Now get your tell. Ain't no games around here.
That all you need is I don't want to. I don't want to.
Tim Stone, what up, though? Let
me know how you feel.
French Coco. But let me know, French Coco. Just how you feel, yeah. I don't want French Coco, the lovely.
And I don't want to go. Come on, baby, let's get it together. I really wanna go.
Lovely French Coco.
Come on, boy. Yeah.
Come with it. Talk to me.
See, I'm so confused. I just don't know what to do.
And I don't understand.
No.
Yeah, now fuck Plies. I got a story about Plies. You know what I'm saying? I got a story about Plies. I ain't even gonna tell it though, but we're gonna get up out of here. Yeah. I got a story about Plies. I bumped into him in real life. But right now at the time, we on a good vibe. You did? But now ain't nothing like Plies. Yeah. I'm so confused. I just don't know what to do. And I don't understand. You know, she don't want to talk to me. Talk to Big Chi, baby. What? I'm listening, sweetheart. Hey, well, you don't have to go, baby girl. You can stay here with Big T. I pray, baby. I love y'all. That's my time.